You're on me. I'm taking the knockdown down.
No, he's one. They both. What?
Ah,
I did so much.
Fuck me, dude.
Where are they? They're here on me, dude. And Alliance is going down. Team Singularity feeling the vibes. They just made one of the craziest rotations out of the choke, and they have elected to clear out the south side.
That is a real and one that they know they should have been able to get away with. Having been shut down this time, they do still manage to secure top 10. It'll be a little bit of a consolation prize for them. The Pioneers now have the opportunity to jump on ahead, and Moist still run the high ground where they started the game, where they very well may finish it. They picked up a little bit of KP along the way, but they are waiting for the game to come to them.
Team Singularity may have taken out Alliance, but they got punished immediately by KCP, who has their full 3-stack back. And now here's the deal with Sir Dell on the Newcastle. We were talking about, hey, what's...
No one west, by the way.
Did someone just open the door?
Beacon one more time.
I don't even think you can.
Fuck it.
Yes, they can. Fuck it. Loki is here. I'm gonna drop down and look at this real quick.
Okay.
There's no one in here?
I don't know.
They might look to res. In zone.
Yeah.
Can you watch for me? I'm gonna drop down. Someone watch right.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Alright, watch my drop.
We have enemies here.
I have Q on this.
Huh. It seems we have an enemy
A
now.
lot of people are dying right now.
Alright, this is playable, but it's fucking
It's
ass.
pretty fucking horrible.
He just res.
You should look for the KP. You should look for the KP.
They might try to do something here. You need to probably come up here, Funny, just in case.
No, you're good. They're not gonna do shit.
Alright, let's kill this guy. Snipe, let's kill this guy.
Yep. Hit him once.
Watch out for this.
He
Right?
dropped down.
He's on you, Funny. Down low.
Underneath on you, Funny.
Kill this guy.
Level 1.
He's underneath.
Right here.
Yeah. That's all you, Funny.
Knock them. You're good.
Nice. Get the kill. I'm still watching west, by the way.
Yeah, good.
They're still in there. Get the kill.
Let's go.
What's our play here, Funny?
We're just gonna play
this right. We should just play right. Listen, there's gonna be teams that swing out right here.
Okay.
We can't really do much about it. We just play here.
Alright, we're just gonna play high, right?
Yes. We can't evac out of it, okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if anything, I'll queue up and we'll just fly around this and swing right.
Okay.
But we'll kill everything left. We could drop down and kill left.
Look at
No.
Rising Q here.
You guys can drop down and kill left. You guys have repeater and shit.
Yeah.
I'll watch right.
I'm grabbing this door.
All the way out over here, Bloodhound. On these pills.
Yeah. They walled.
I'm watching right. You guys are good.
You should definitely horizon all this team on the left over here and kill them.
In the open over here.
I'm looking, Flex.
Yeah. In the open. Crack him.
Down him.
Nice, finish. Never mind, you don't have Bobby had to horizon up.
We're missing one. The Crypto's probably under us.
Yes.
Do you want to drop a kill scar real quick?
I'm looking at
Funny,
him.
you're by yourself.
You gotta help him. You gotta help him, Flex.
I'm coming.
I'm fine. Listen, can you bank smoke right? Bank
I
smoke
did.
right.
We're safe right.
This cat wall just went down.
Queuing up.
I'm going up.
Keep playing this. It's a.
Popping it back in.
Yeah.
We're safe.
This is ultimate safe back here.
Popping it back in. Safe on me.
I'm coming.
I smoked them off.
I'm not low at all, boys.
I do still have my bagel.
You're good. You're fine.
I still have wall too.
That's fine. That's good.
I think we're gonna want to get through the cannon, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna play towards here. I'm gonna queue us up. We're gonna play towards here, and we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
turn around. Okay?
Yeah,
They're gonna fuse ult
I'm gonna
us.
wall towards this, okay?
They're gonna fuse ult us. Okay?
Okay.
Shoot this guy.
One shot.
Watch out for them to queue up.
Yeah.
Make sure you save your secondary.
I think he got down.
Why don't you kill that guy?
I'm just trying to shoot that wall off.
You should shoot it for sure.
I don't know.
I don't have ammo like that.
What do you need?
Heavy.
Dropping.
And light too.
I'm dropping a stack.
Listen, I'm gonna queue up and we're gonna play here.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna, you heard me with my wall, right? I'm gonna wall that way.
Yes.
Horizon Q over here on the left. They might be trying to do the same thing. I have Bengal still. When I land, I'm about to Bengal too.
You need to horizon hold this team. You need to hold
Yes.
horizon.
I know.
I'm smoking that team on the right.
Smoke this.
Okay. I did.
I'm ready whenever you're finished.
Oh, fuck.
I'm landing. I walled. Play the right.
I don't know if it's somebody. I did get my Bengal off.
I'm chasing him. Just play your left.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh my god.
I mean, there's nothing we can do there.
push with
Mother
a
load.
dark veil. That's right, from the contest, they've got Fuse in that legend composition, and if you're breaking it out, the knuckle clusters, the mother load, what does Nasky have to say about this?
It's just Nasky right now. Everyone else is trapped inside the mother load. He's gonna hold it down as the fire burns. Does get a nice cheeky angle on this fence. No, not yet. But this damage that Nasky is putting in is saving Pioneer's game. They get seen on the other side. Pioneers go on the aggressive push. This should be their game. And in the midst of all the smoke, Pioneers have got the edge to make it happen. But Pulverex claw the game back.
Look, maybe Pulverex just needs more Fuse. We need more Fuse. Congratulations to Pulverex, your match 5 winners. So impressive, right? They win that original contest against Northampton and finally get to play the game, and they make their way from Thunderwatch to the Stormcatcher zone and go all the way.
Pulverex, that was such a back and forth fight. They ended up getting a dark veil. They didn't have to deal with phase. They had a nice mother load, but Nasky made this end game so impossible to play out cleanly. So much so that Pulverex were at a disadvantage going into that last clean gunfight and still managed to pull it out. That is mechanical skill at its best.
I know, watching Nasky jump up on the high ground of that fence and just look around that dark veil while he still had his as well and never even had to utilize it. So I was so impressed with that, just bouncing back and forth on the high ground. At one point, it looked like it would have favored KCP, but the smoke, the chaos, all of it. Pulverex right there, 12 placement points, 8 eliminations. That's a 20-point game for them.
I honestly, I can't even say that it was the smokes. And part that is going to have something to do with it. As you talked about, the combination of smoke as well as spikes from Catalyst really make fights impossible in the late game. And Pulverex, even having to face off against a squad that had the first move, that had more damage, that had Digis, were still able to fight it out. They took so few fights this game. Pulverex were so passive. They were like the Gandhi of Apex Legends after the initial contest.
Well, let's look at it from Pulverex's POV, that final circle, right? This is where FaZe had elected to actually push down onto KCP early. So that was kind of wild, giving Pulverex a little bit more time to assess that situation, where they wanted to approach. They see final 2 squads, and that mother load is just ready and waiting to be unleashed. And here it goes. This is where things start to get mixy.
At this point, I just want to see how much damage Nasty is actually physically able to do. It's a quick retreat from him, because remember, he's buying time for the rest of the squad, and Pulverex never pushed past the dark veil. They don't want to take that risk, but with Shunni almost going down, they've got to split up and cover as much ground as possible. If so little left in the ring, and Zane's finally able to come back over and do his thing, ultimately trading, leaving Pulverex with, I mean, let's count, how much is this? This is 75 health left total. Bolt on Flesh, no Digis, just a rampage through the smoke and a bit of a prayer. Pioneers fall.
Sometimes it's all it takes. So if you look at the results of match number 5, 20 points for Pulverex, but 20 points for Pioneers. They were able to get 11 eliminations in FaZe, who had made such a strong play onto J-Lings, getting back onto high ground, but they only accumulated 3 eliminations, but Moist going out in 4th with 10 points.
Take back what I said. I think that Gandhi probably took out less than 80. They got a little bit bloody. Let's take a look at the bottom 10 from this match, because with Alliance and Singularity rounding out 9th and 10th, Dark Zero surprisingly land themselves in 11th.
Yeah, Singularity was in 9th as well, with a good chunk of eliminations. That's why you just see pretty much a few here, a few there, and that's kind of what had happened. But that initial contest there with Kick, able to pick up 2 eliminations prior to moving on, very strong. But these contests, that's why they got to get them out of the way. If you're contesting, do it in groups. Because you want to get all of your drop spot POIs claimed prior to moving into the bracket stages, because you cannot afford to lose out.
I love that you touch on that, Tiff, because right now,
looking
at the overall points, what we've got so far after 5 matches, group C and D is turning out to be, as we started, pretty top heavy, but Singularity clutching up a 2nd place so far is a great place to be. But we've got a whole nother game going on, and it's what you just talked about, the game of contest, and ultimately the game of winners and losers bracket, of ultimately finals, and being able to secure your drop spot. Contests may not look so hot right now, but we've talked about this on the desk. Today, you're aiming for top 10 more often than not. If you don't make it, you've still got time later. What you don't have time for is a contest in finals. If you're planning to get there, get rid of the team that's landing next to you.
No time for contests, with tons of talk on the caster desk, on the booth. But you know, we've also got here a ton of watch parties. I want to throw it over to Peeps, who is with Vicky, one of our watch partiers.
Tiff and Dia, thank you guys so much. We are here with the
酔いは
newest
しないん
member
ですけど
of the
眠気が
ALGS Watch Party fam,
酒ってそうっす
Vicky.
酔うどう
We
こ
got
うよ
some
り
fans
眠
in
い
the
っす
house. How we feeling? How does it
誰この
feel
女
to one be the
ゲル
newest
かわいい
member of the ALGS Watch Party, right? But not only representing ALGS
そうでもない
to
な
the whole
画
entire
質上げ
world
だ
of anybody that speaks Spanish.
急にそうでもなくなった
This is like an awesome
Vicky
opportunity.
para mí.
I'm very grateful because I used to do watch parties for every ALGS. Like I did them for 2 years from my setup in my home. And I think a lot of Hispanic members of the community really appreciated that because a lot of them don't speak English or they didn't know a lot of the teams. So it's very exciting to be able to represent them and to have my stream as a way of them to understand and to watch their favorite teams.
I love that. I love that as well. So they're loving you. So I gotta say this. I've known you for a while, I think maybe 3 years or something, and you've always been a grinder. But the last year and a half, you have absolutely blown up, right? Congrats on your success. But how does it feel to be one of the biggest streamers in the world?
Oh, that sounds like surreal to just imagine. I'm very grateful again because I love streaming. I started with my streams in 2020, so I just did it as a hobby. I never expected to get like big or anything. I just enjoyed playing with my friends and just interacting with the community in general. So I'm very happy because growing as a streamer is something that we all dream about, and knowing that you can create like this type of communities and come to this type of events with your favorite video game is always something I'm gonna be grateful for. And I mean, you have also blown up recently, so congratulations, and you deserve it as well.
Thank you, thank you. It's a blessing we play video games for a living, but I think that's it. Congrats again, keep killing it, and Dia and Tiff, take it away.
Thank you very much, Phoebes, and it was nice to grab that interview. I was really excited to see Vicky joining us. I've tuned in for a few of her. She did like a Price is Right style stream for a little while and play with viewers. Very entertaining and a little bit of love. I want to throw over to Pokies as well, who covers this in Brazilian Portuguese, which is fantastic. We get to reach all of South America with these two. And
いいチコ飲んだことないっすね
thank you both for your
名前は聞いたことありますけ
don't
ど
expect they're watching, although you know, they got their own things going on. As we do prepare to jump into match 6, however, we're all pretty excited for this group, for the amount that we've seen these teams develop over the course of a single series, but we've still got some squads that do look for the more dominant game, and I'm thinking specifically of Dojo here, who had a difficult last match. This is something that I spoke about on the analyst desk, but this day of all days is likely the single most important for Dojo, outside of risking elimination. This is where they're fighting not for their tournament lives,
美味しくないんで
they're
すか
fighting for vibes. The vibes are so important to Dojo.
日本
They
酒なんですか
themselves will admit it.
Yeah, that is something that I know we had a
わからん
long
けど
discussion about on Monday, so stay
な
tuned
んか
for
実
that.
家におる
But
ときは
Dia
よ
and
く
I
見
were
た
just
けど
kind
な
of going back and forth on the dojo, and look at him, look, I mean, the vibes.
Okay, they got
we
vibes,
see
they got
some
vibes.
there. We see some bronzy
酒飲
in
み
the
どもが
back as well. I just feel like it's going to
酒
take
ばっか
one
飲んでやがっ
game
て
for them to really pop off and get that
酒なんか
momentum
飲むな
moving forward. Do you think back to that last
誰
chance
かとご飯
qualifier
行って飲
when
む
we
ならわか
saw
るけど
this
家
team
でも
take the
飲む意
victory,
味ない
right?
か
The emotions on Timmy's face, I almost teared up watching when he
Wow.
posted that he qualified and that was so powerful, right? So I want to
麦
see
焼
another
酎
moment for that, especially the chance,
焼
right? A
酎
lot of
か
our teams, we have
わ
all
か
of the
んし
regions
な
that have
焼
the
酎っ
last
て
chance
そもそも
qualifiers, and so for those
なんす
teams
か
coming in from that aspect, show
そっから
out here, show us what you've got, and then hey, who knows what's going to happen for your board.
I mean, speaking of the last
Come
chance
back.
qualifiers, a member who was critical in their
もし
qualification. It isn't
酒
too on
み
stage
んな
right
飲む
now.
ま
Those
で
in the audience,
俺嫌いやでとか言ったら
was,
冷めるかな
present during their
酒嫌いやで
LCQ
俺リンゴジュー
managed
ス
to
で
actually keep the team pretty darn happy with how they were performing. Keep, as we said, the vibes high. He's in the
今度やっ
audience.
て
I
み
saw
よう
his
か
sign earlier.
そう
He's
い
got
う
the Are You Winning
タイミン
sign.
グ
So
が
if you've been here the whole time, you've likely seen him already. But it's been fantastic
いや
to
俺リン
see,
ゴジュ
as
ース
we so often do in Apex Legends.
レモンサワーじゃなくて
Coming
レモン
out
サイダー
to
ありません
support
か
the incredible athletes we've got on stage.
I don't know if you think of esports in general, and if you have your family in the crowd hyping you up, that warms my heart. That has to feel good knowing. I know that throughout this journey of starting casting,
飲まない
as
人
well,
も
I've
いま
met
すし
a
ね
lot of the
そうなんや
family, and Jen Burton's family
なんか
is
酒飲む集まりで酒飲まんって自分を貫き通せんのかっこいいなでも僕は嫌いなんで飲みません
Papa Jen Burton came up to me and was like, here's the deal. DZ's gonna win. And I was like, they are? He goes, 100%. So if he sees me and says that again, I guess it's all over for everyone.
Yeah, it is scary to hear a two-time champion prophecy. That's what I was
嫌われる
talking
There's the
about.
sign. Are
We
you
love it.
winning, son? I mean, Timmy's a memer, right? If you've ever been in Timmy's stream, I'm pretty sure he has 100 plus quick memes, and one of them being
It's really fantastic, and that's what's going to be really important. Now, we've talked about the dojo a little bit. One of the teams that's flown under the radar a bit, but was really integral in the way last game played out is Moist, and they had some big expectations coming into today that I'm looking forward to the development of. I didn't expect them to be a day one team, and this isn't pressure to become one. However, the pure amount of fragging potential that you've got on Moist, the passion that we've got on this broadcast for APAC South, does have to come to fruition in the next little while, as we are going to run back a little bit of what we saw earlier in the day. Some of the teams that popped off, some of our highlights that took, say, even NRG to this position. It's a big tournament for NRG.
It was a big tournament, it's a big game, so I want to see exactly what that looks like, right? They had that 20 elimination game to kind of kick things off, and it was so strong and fun to witness, but they have been a real powerhouse, and honestly, we haven't really spoken too much about them just yet on the desk. They haven't necessarily manifested in a team to watch, and it's not because we're forgetting about NRG by any means, it's just because I have already, I know they're going to make finals on Sunday. I know they're going to be there, but in what capacity, right? Sweet himself, we always talk about him being one of the greatest IGLs in the world, but he doesn't have that LAN championship that just really validates that experience, and I don't think he will say it himself until he has that.
I think it's fair to accept the humility as you prepare for, we said it at the start, but the biggest fan so far of Apex Legends, arguably the biggest
とりあえず
fan
帰り
of
ます
Sweet's career, especially given the way the
お気を
playoffs
つけ
have
て
gone, the way that I think many people are almost afraid to predict NRG in the same way as teams are now hesitant about jumping in for Alliance. Not because the team has, how do I say, not because the team has
ちょう
changed
ど俺
in
も
some
明日
capacity, but simply because you want to hold your
酒
breath,
飲
you
み
want
の
to
場合
wait for
多
them
分
to take momentum on their
飲
own
む
as
の
a
かな
fan, as a
大人
commentator.
数じゃないし
You don't want
2
to
人や
curse
け
it
ど
before they start, and it's been very much the same story with NRG, and fortunately enough, with the, I would say, little amount of attention they've attracted, they've managed to already make big waves on the first day of championships.
Exactly. We got a good comparison. We got killed up on the board. 12 eliminations for that thus far. 9 assists. The survival time very similar between Noises and such, but Noises is kind of playing on the crypto, playing a little bit more reserved character, trying to play the life for the team, but still doing fairly well. And the guild shine. It's really cool.
Is fantastic as a mechanical player. Guild is one of the original, or I would say, in the past 2 years, people that have cemented themselves as just controller players that are SU. If you're gonna build a roster that needs somebody to do consistent damage, you're probably putting Guild on pretty high on your wish list, and so seeing, as you say, performance in this land so far is really good, and it's in a different environment where NRG are playing a bit of a different style, something that changed even when they picked Guild up initially. They took a little bit of a shift, they changed their identity, and now they're considering doing that again. even if it is only temporary in the group stage, that is yet to be seen.
Exactly, so we'll only see what time will tell. Will NRG rise even further to the top? Will they keep that momentum going forward? I would love to see another game that enacts as that point sponge for them. But for now, locked and loaded as we kind of prep up game number 6, the final match of this series. But a lot of teams have been finding their pathway, and it's kind of interesting to see KCP, right? They've been rotating heavily early, utilizing that Newcastle, even often having white shields going into the top 8 teams left. That's been kind of interesting.
And I really like that they're running Newcastle as well, because when you think about Newcastle's abilities and the castle wall being really important, one of the other things, Newcastle deals really well with changes to loot because of his ability to open support crates that almost nobody else is running. There are going to be a couple POIs. We were talking to Start a Fight earlier about some of their loot path runs where it's very difficult to actually find good amounts of shields, batteries, cells, whatever it may be. And Newcastle largely solves that problem simply by being able to run over to blue bins and get your team a bit of extra sustain. Some teams like Start a Fight have chosen to opt for Watson instead to deal with that. But Newcastle is absolutely a viable choice and brings a lot of other things to the table. Not just the castle wall, but the revive as well, mobile shield, and big chunky fortified lad.
Yeah, he definitely fortified that cruiser. That's quite interesting. We're going to cut to a quick break, but when we come back, match number 6.
Shit.
Welcome back to Year 3 Apex Legends Global Series Championship. We got match number 6 coming your way shortly. I'm Spider-Dia and I are here to kind of joke around me, but not only that, more importantly, call the action.
Absolutely. And there will be action to call very soon. I'm excited for it. Game 6 is right around the corner. And with a little bit more time and plenty of time for these teams to blossom during the course of this series, it's not the last time that you're going to see Group D. We do have A and D coming up after this, where we'll get the opportunity to see the teams from Group D try their shoes on a different stage, see if they can tangle a little bit better there. However, this is going to be the last time that we see Group C for today, so it's important to get your nice initial games in, because right now you gotta wait till tomorrow to do anything extra against Group A.
I love how we have DZ up on the screen here mentioning about trying your shoes on a different stage. I learned a lot of things in that green room. Not only is Genome a diehard fan, but for some reason, none of those boys wear shoes when gaming, and honestly, I don't either at home, but I'm just like, that's quite peculiar.
Do you wear shoes on airplanes?
Yeah. break your feet out on airplanes. That is no.
I have no comment to make.
Oh my gosh, get me out of this food. I need to be saved right now. What? No one's wearing shoes.
Yeah.
Crowd, are you out there wearing shoes? Please tell me you guys are all wearing shoes out there.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I can't tell.
Yeah, they're wearing shoes.
That's a shoe. That's a shoe. Thank goodness. All right, well, we're queuing up match number 6. I saw Asta out there with a golden Nessie. If you haven't got your golden Nessie already, I think I heard they were exclusive to Japan. For some reason, we've got them here in Birmingham, UK, and I did buy 3. I might go buy 3 more.
I like it. I mean, they're, from what I heard, ALGS exclusive, and that's just what I heard.
Oh.
I have been wrong. I don't
More
think
golden Nessies, a little bit of a hashtag Rid win. Phaser supporters of Riddle. I'm a supporter of Riddle, and honestly, I saw a nice win with a Riddle jersey too. And we were talking about our watch parties early on, and we've got some really great ones out there. If you haven't already, Nice Wig and Greek are also doing a watch party. Esports Rage, they have a full setup over there on the right-hand side for their Japanese broadcast, and they are some of my favorite casters. I'm a huge fan.
I'm gonna try and grab them some ramen later. We know they love ramen, and that alone is worth the experience, especially for all the viewers at home. It's incredible the support that Apex Legends gets out of APAC North, like just period, and that's almost entirely due to them.
But I haven't made it to
One day.
Tokyo just yet, or that side of the world. I'm not too huge on traveling, but I would travel to go over there, and I want to now. But speaking of traveling, now while we get this match number 6 kind of underway, let's think back to the contest that we've witnessed, right? Kick originally supposed to go wall, decides to go Cascades, and it's actually proving very well for that South American team. But not only that, we're tied 1-1 on the Pulver X North Eption Thunder Watts contest. North Eption did take the win on match number 4, and they were able to provide a lot of damage to other teams, right? Specifically onto NRG, taking that third party and eliminating them. So I'm curious to see what North Eption brings, and it's been a different iteration of North Eption almost every single land. So for this one to really find kind of that stability and the adaptability throughout group stages, maybe this time for that winner's bracket, they could end up there and find themselves in finals.
What you've got to appreciate about North Eption is that, well, the players may have changed, the style, the spirit of the game stays very similar. Their take on it, the legends that they run do change up, but North Eption is largely a team that wants to fight you. And I really appreciate that about any team in Apex Legends. A team that will just go for it. In fact, my prediction for this group was Black Hand for that very reason. And Black Hand are another team that very much could use their breakout. They actually had a pretty good start for the first game on Stormpoint in match number 4. They could finish Stormpoint strong with a little bit of luck this game.
And that's quite interesting, right? Because you think about all the changes that came into Apex Legends prior to Champs, all the ring changes. Typically, North Eption's playstyle had been to remain in zone, crafting up, playing that incredibly hard edge, and it is completely different now. They are still edge, but it's a little more zone-oriented, and now with all of these teams enacting the contests, we're locked into the dropship. We're ready to see what happens at Thunderwatch. We're ready to see what happens in Cascade Falls. And as our plane line decides to cut from north to south, teams that land Lightning Rod, Alliance in particular, are going to have a ring console, a survey beacon, and crafting and priority to get there.
And I'll tell you,
Priority.
I got a Digi.
Big. 俺もう速攻ピック取りに行っていいこれ。
よ。そこはそれは俺。
まだ来てなくねまだ来てなくねあいや来てないよ。あ、これ別のとこ行ったね。
うん、それ変えてるもん。そうだね。エバク行かせよ。
見てね。飛んできてはないと思う。飛んで
どっ
きてはない。
かでハイドしてるかもな、ワンチャン。ワンチャンある。
ダウビがワンチやな。
Check that again.
No, I was
Holy
gonna say
fuck.
fucking
They
fun.
ended on 5 points.
ここ行く
どう降りてんねん。
普通に頼んで、こっち側でいいよね、金玉側。
うん。たくさん待ちつつ。俺一瞬で当たり悪かった。
うん、もう終わったから。
はい、じゃあ俺も行くわ。
そうブッシュオッツ俺。
No, I literally have a rampage. We'll also be able to loot that building.
Let's go. I'm gonna make.
Open.
Wow.
30 rep here. The bomb in middle.
There, because they've already had a map win. They have plenty of points. No need to win, right? NRG, they've got a ring console. They've got crafting. They've got a survey beacon. And they've got priority to a zone. So seeing where NRG decides to move for this will go to show where everyone else will likely start pulling.
Northpad just utterly empty right now. It wouldn't be crazy for NRG to stick around and try and hold on to checkpoint, the ring as a result, or rather the ring console as a result. It's definitely a viable strategy. It may not be a super powerful endgame position though, and I think they know that, having gotten the scan. So, do you want to stick around, get a little bit more information, or do you want to gamble on the chance that you can find a game-winning spot? I'll tell you what Dark Zero want to do. They want to gamble. They have an idea of where the zone is going, and they are heading straight over to Northpad.
Hey, I mean, you talk about it, right? Coming from Mill, again, with 2 purples and a blue, and after that loot distribution being changed up, I can barely find a blue shield anywhere. But the Mill ring console, it's got crafting, and you have those bins in the center that almost always have all of the good shields. So now they've got the quick rotation sitting on 53 points, and wait a second, didn't I pick Dark Zero as my talent prediction, Dia? I think I did. I think I did.
Honestly,
almost like I knew something.
Pretty good pick. Pretty good pick. I'm waiting. Come on, Black Ant. I'm waiting for you. I fully believe, even with 1 game left, and we'll say they've got a nice spot. They did rotate in early, and having picked up Watson to solve the shield zone problem that they've been dealing with previously, do have a decent position for defense set up in the late stage of the game. They do have to make it there, however, with white shields that can be a bit challenging. They've eaten some pokes so far. Moving over, they should be able to find a nice spot to play a little bit later. NRG need to get a little bit lucky in order to do so, but Sweet's going to be picked up, and they're going to be just fine.
So let's talk about this, right? Because we've already had 1 Northpad zone thus far, and that was in our earlier series this morning, right? So it's not necessarily the same. It's not encompassing all the fingers north of Northpad, and that's where Fnatic and Dreamfire had positioned themselves, and where NRG currently is where Ascend was. TSM ends up doing really well that zone from Red Room. So look to the teams that are maybe trying to find themselves underneath here at Northpad. The teams that are still playing around down beat Gombare Otosan, sitting on really nice shields, working on that early game or working against Complexity.
One of the things that you have to recognize if you are picking this fight is that other teams are going to rotate on you. Moving up through down Beast is very popular. It means that Gombare Otosan have to wipe this fight faster than not. Dogma goes low for a moment. Complexity play off the low ground, taking him out and leaving basically this all up to Jungi. Manages to do it. Complexity go down. Jusna stays up, and it's a quick reset on Dogma before anyone else arrives.
They're absolutely juiced. Now, Gombare, they land down Beast. They're going to have all the loot on the underside, which is usually at least 1 gold item. And for that to be the gold knockdown, it preferentialized all of their reses there so they can get back on feet. You're right. It's now let's think about all the teams that are going to rotate on that side of the map, up through down Beast, pushing towards Northpad. It's going to be a little tough, but kind of tough. MT for Moist, this is not it.
Not the ideal way to finish the series, that's for sure. Fussy and Waltzy aren't able to make it, and MT is going to be playing around the corners of Red Room to survive as long as possible. It's the only thing you can do with 18 squads left. It's even still very difficult to actually find yourself any points. Dark Zero, a very different story, however, as their early rotate down has left them playing in the open ground, something they actively elected to do, and likely so they could do exactly this, farm up some kills with the shield advantage they have.
I'm gonna say, okay, Gen 0 on the high ground, Zainu joining up, and they are just stacking this fight as TYK forced to throw up the Dark Veil, but I don't think the timing is going to be enough, and just as that begun, the fight has been cleaned up. Nathan cleaning up Moist Esports on the other side. We're down to 16 squads here, and Dark Zero are looking to potentially cement themselves at the top of the team.
And I hate to say it, the shields barely even made a difference there.
Exactly.
Dark Zero took maybe 50 combined damage, and that's being generous. It was a decisive fight from them, and what really swung it was the use of cooldowns that they instantly threw in. It's not, they weren't waiting for a crack. They walked in with confidence, threw out a Horizontal off of a nice initial push and just kept the pressure on. You didn't let the other team play the game. Dark Zero, nice couple 3 kills, and there's definitely a reason why you and many of our talent predicted them. Dark Zero, they take no prisoners.
No prisoners, but you think back to the group stages and split 2 playoffs. Actually, it was Alliance on their first showing, took that first win in their group series, but things were a little different. Like, a little bit of a slower start, and some of these zones haven't necessarily favored them too much just yet, but trying to break into Northpad, if you haven't already, can be incredibly challenging. You think about the dojo, they've made it into that next zone coming from the wall, but Alliance coming all the way from Lightning Guard are just going to have, you know, a little bit more time to loot due to that flight path, but they're going to do it a longer way. Crafting was at the wall, they'll likely hit it there, and they are, but North Eption lie just in the midst.
It's interesting that North Eption have chosen to play these buildings because there's not a lot that they can gain from this outside of catching Alliance off guard, outside of finding a team that just isn't prepared to take a fight. At the World Championship level, unlikely to happen. Most people are going to be ready for a fight. Most teams like Alliance should be scouting ahead. So North Eption's decision making here is almost a skill check to other teams in the area, and perhaps a rotational play for a little bit later on as that will be available to them as they likely manage to find feedback power along the way. Their rotation in is going to be mirrored on the other side, however, by Enter Force 36, playing around the bunkers and spawning out a respawn ship behind them. With a lot of data as to where their surrounding competition is. What their goal is here. Do they want to pick a fight? Do they want to rotate in a little further? We're going to find out.
Dogma from Bomberay making their way back in on down B, so they've landed there, they're still there. Likelihood of them hitting that rotation will be soon. As we can see, it's pulling ever so closely towards Northpad, but I don't know if it'll pull up to the POI itself. I think it's going to potentially end, but J-Link all the way north are hedging their bets that it's going to pull all the way up there, and Alliance still trying to make their way into the zone. Not taking the time to hydrate. It's important, guys. If you're out there in chat, make sure you guys are hydrated.
One of the important things about zones that pull over by Northpad as well is that playing bunkers, while it may seem rough because you're on the low ground, gives you a lot of flexibility that other squads don't have. Now, we're pretty sure this is going hard at Northpad. Call it an educated guess. A very educated guess. We watch a lot of Apex Legends. But there's always an outside chance this pulls more out into the open, in which case teams that lie in bunkers will have an inherent advantage over the squads that need to make an exodus from Northpad. So when we see squads like Enter Force 36 and Dark Zero sitting out there, it's for good reason. Now Alliance, we saw sitting out over by Wall, and we wondered whether they'd be caught off guard. Right now, it's a 50-50, but they definitely didn't expect this.
They didn't expect Laika going crazy with the R9 wingman able to take down Yuki and Hackis. Now Mandy last alive in a 1v2 situation, but not before KCP says, this is our moment, we've got to go in, we have to move in exponentially quick, and they are fully healed, looking to clean this up. Disruptor rounds on that alternator, and they just have to get close.
Pioneers, the hero that neither team asked for. North Eption and North Eption just don't need it to happen. Pioneers walk up on Alliance. They now take high ground, and it's likely to be at both squads. Nice mobile shield as well. Will keep Pioneers from taking any meaningful damage. Alliance go down first, and making it to top 15 is going to be a small victory for any squad still remaining.
Well, this is quite interesting, right? North Eption was able to get inside that IMC armor, which was exactly where they were playing from originally.
At all, so.
4アシスト
Now, Pioneers, just as quickly as they came, as quickly as they have left.
Good, Shane, jump on us. Get the third, we'll reset top earlier now. The horizon's dead underneath. Nate, double peek with me left. I think the last guy's gonna be directly below us, okay? You ready? We're just gonna double jump here and I can queue us up if it's bad. Knock right there. 50 crack! What the fucking controller?
Nice.
Oh, that was okay actually. I have the Phoenix kit, I can't risk dying in the air. Okay, nice, good job. But yeah, play aggro there, bro. Play aggro. You're on throw watch, but like, good fucking combinate to empower that push from Guild. Good shit.
Yeah.
I'm just playing solo there. Horizon ult in the door, big entry. Then you guys fucking play together. Great, Nate. Great job, bro. That's what we're talking about. Your comms with Nate or with Guild in the fucking moment, bro. It's exactly what we need, guys. Great job. There's a gold armor here. Yeah. We're full safe. I'm gonna body block you in case.
Just lit. Their team in this.
Dude, there's not a barrel anywhere. That's like cringe.
Next to me, peeking over north.
Come up. They just catwalled. I'm running out.
Are they running toward bottom floor?
I don't know.
High team smoked off right now. They're looking
Going
for
down
the
second.
They're smoking is something else. I think he's like running down here. It's like the high team or something.
Yeah, it's this team. They threw a cat key at me.
Seems we have an enemy.
Maybe they have to go blue, I don't know.
Give me bubble here. I'm gonna walk. Are we safe underneath? Like, is no one underneath us?
Well, they just won't loot. They just won't loot. They just pick this back up.
Listen, that's probably where the Horizon was dead, because we didn't end up killing her. There's a team in this corner here. Look over me right now, and like look this way.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up here a little bit, just kind of see what's going on in this.
One's on the power nest right here.
The full 3-man flank right here, being shot in the side from across the map. There's another full team there as well. That's really sus. I'm not gonna peek that ever again. There's a team playing here and here. If I'm out here solo, let me check this game down first. Kraber, please. Nate, someone sit on the fucking height with the bow and go crazy. I would prefer that to be Guild, Nate, if that's cool. Because I want you to have 2 fucking spray guns.
That bow is far.
There is a full 3-man sitting in the corner right here, bro.
Yeah.
Literally a full 3-man, and I have 4 arc stars.
You wanna do something about it? We can like smoke on top of it or something.
They just got Horizon by someone else.
Yeah, we can peek this if you want. I'm here with you. Get on the fucking second floor of the roof of the building.
I'm on the second floor. I'm not playing.
Crossing in front of me, Horizon! Cracked and shredded, 140. Can you see that, Goat?
Yeah.
Go to the roof, Goat. Go to the roof.
He's in here on the low ground. Right here on the low ground. I'm nading him.
Careful to your left, Nate. Come back. Too many people looking at you. There's a team still below you somewhere there, Nate. We can't risk it with these guys here unless you smoke that. Come back.
I need a dodge the bangle.
There's a crypto drone scouting our building right now.
Yeah, we need to reset inside. We're in too good of a spot. Come back and reinforce the bottom door, please, Guild.
They're not playing in this corner anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. We need to sit in the building, guys. We need to sit in the building.
Okay. Nate, tell me if you break that bottom door.
Yeah, reinforce that. I just broke it.
Okay, I'm gonna look left in this choke for kills. Nate, you kind of sit in the halfway point. Guild.
Yeah.
Looking on the left. There's a lot of shit happening on the left. I'm gonna look for KP.
Full 3-man. Hold on, I'm coming with you.
Give me 140.
Yeah, I'm
being shot from my. Yeah. Come back. It's not worth it. It's just way too overzealous. We're just trying to keep these guys in shambles.
There's a guy
before they have to move the zone, right?
Yeah, I'm breaking the bottom door again, Guild. Reinforce it when Sweet comes back in.
Nate, I think we double play bottom floor right here, and we fucking remove this door and double swing right here, because there's gonna be a team playing right here below us, right, Nate? We double swing that, smoke our feet, and just double digi everybody below us there.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense?
I'm
We're gonna double
going
swing this.
Say it again? Okay.
We're gonna play the bottom floor, and the team is gonna try to play down here in this.
Yeah. 俺の方って。
Okay.
カタ290巻くわ。下がって巻く。右から巻く、右の巻く。290巻く。オッケー。
僕なんか
右も来てない。ワンパーファイト。
カーテンもこれ切れるよ。カーテン切れる。
オッケー。待って、角取ってるよ、さっき。オッケー。ゆっくり。グレナイあそこ。グレナイ持ってない。いいよ。
これも
特進これ巻いて。リンさん巻いて。浮かせるよ、見といてくんね。あ、奥行ったわ。
即死巻いてるからね。2枚巻く。ゆっくりして。
いいよ。マジでさ、もう左側のさ、初戦切ってさ、俺ら。行くだけでいいと思うよ。で、正面の2枚押そう。壁焚いてこれ。この辺から壁欲しいな、まっすぐ。
視点5秒。
最高ですよ。壁は絶対使ってほしくないこれもう。左のやつ考えたくない。
いや、いいか、はい、どう
じゃあ、前押すだけだよ。エリア入れる。オッケー。止まろう。
一旦ゆっくり。
カーテンくぐってみるわ。左もね、移動してる多分奥側に。バンバ飛んでる。無理しないで。俺ら対面来なかったらマジ余裕だよ。
対面ピックするよ。一旦ピックする。いないともいないよ、対面いないよ。
忙しいよ。
これマジさ、これ真下いると思うよ、正面の。
ない屋上
あるみたいやめよう。一回待ってこれ次そこの下入ら
オッケー。今もう即死ない。即死は持ってない。
左上めっちゃ弱くてあれ。
ここでね、ワンパ耐えてんだよね、多分。これジブが。
俺らカーテンないよ、もう。
カーテンない。上がらんかな、これ移動の時。
いやー、微妙、今 40% ぐらい。
なら今の間にさ、そっち入りに行かん？行く。下入ったらいい。
ジブロ。
いや。
丸げ
上の車線だけ気をつけて。俺右一回登ってみる。大丈夫。大丈夫。俺が来て。大丈夫だから無理で。壁上がるっしょ、リンさん。
いや、上がんない。今51。
オッケー。
上がんないわ。
ジブタイ。
俺らじゃあさ、壁横張り付きながら行こう。
オッケー。
なんかジブいるかもそこ。 かけてるんだね、10パーティー。
かけてる、2枚2枚2枚。一回望む。
スキャン欲しいタイミングで教えて。
スキャン今あるかも。今あるかも。ここ壁取って壁取って。待ってこれ。
上、ちょめだね。
ね、上取らん。
いいよいいよ。いけいけいけ。
9なしで9なしで。いくよ。
いくよ。
あ、これせーの。正面1回ピック。上取れてる上取れてる。ごめん。こっち俺だ。やった。上取り切ろう。上取ったら両方やる。
待って。
150。
マシるよ。
塞いで。大丈夫。6部隊ね。壁上がるリンさん。
上がんない。今8号。
いや左から降りて。降りていいよ。降り切ってもいい。
俺無理。いってる。絶対いってる。
6部隊。どんまい。
まあ。
27。
悪くない。
やばい。
Bang in the open. Cracked.
Cracked one.
Good right. White knock. Only white knock. We need to walk up. They wiped. They did not. Move up. Last 2 teams. I'm on the 8. I played them. To the left. Where's the 50? On your back. I killed one. Rise behind you. Oh my god. Nice. Great. Fuck, man. We needed wall. I don't want to say it, bro.
I don't wanna say it, bro.
G will go down. We're into the top 2 squads. It's IBG versus a solo from Black Hand. And the fry from IBG is just a little too good. The 6th game goes to Iron Blood Gaming.
Quite impressive. Had they not taken out Dark Zero when they did, we would have had a completely different game as they fought their way forward. Congratulations, Iron Blood Gaming. Well done.
This is a really good ending from them as well, and mostly about endgame momentum. I think we saw a lot of teams, as we moved out of Northpad, mismanage the rotation, not be able to call the move fast enough. Dojo actually is an interesting example to talk about, not because they mismanaged it, but because perhaps they played it in a way where they had other options. So that's where I'm going to go with this. They chose to commit onto the low ground, as so many teams did, fighting over priority in a building that isn't going to be in zone. And that killed almost everyone. It almost killed IBG.
Yeah, that was really tough, right? Using that grab lift, going straight up to the high ground, but immediately having to fall off it when they could have just prioritized, maybe going the other way. Things would have been different. And how was Blackhand able to survive as a solo? I don't know, maybe because there's no seer, and maybe they knew there was a solo down there, and they just were like, we don't need to push this just yet. We'll deal with it at the end.
Yeah, I am really enjoying the difference that we've seen from Split 2 playoffs. Not seeing as much seer in these lobbies have really appreciated the way that we're able to, or these teams have very quickly adapted to using the small amount of information that you get from Bloodhound scans to make split-second decisions. That's really fascinating to watch and even see other teams react to, as we've seen squads pick up Gibraltar as an answer, being able to stall out some of that push.
It's been fascinating to see them adapt. It's been fascinating to watch, but now I'm curious to hear what our analyst desk has to say about that series. Take it over, guys.
Thank you very much. Fantastic casting closing out that series. I mean, you're talking about variety and meta. We're getting variety in the winners here.
Yeah, no repeat winners in that group whatsoever. It's very interesting to see, actually. You know, the disparity between some of the teams. The first 3 games that we casted on the desk, we were like, this is getting a little bit point spongy. Some of the big dogs coming through, you know, NRG, Alliance getting wins in those first 3 games. But then towards the end, you have Singularity, Pulverex, Iron Blood Gaming coming through with wins. And I think it's just proof, right, here at the LGS Championships that you can't take anything for granted. Anyone can win a game here, and you got to be on your best to perform the best to get those points on board.
Yeah, honestly, very impressive for everyone. Obviously, we've got Onset, Gaskin, and Graceful up on the desk. Graceful, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
あ、間違えた。あ、やべ。もう勘弁。
This last match, let's take a look back at the final circle. Walk us through what you took away.
So the thing that caught me the most by surprise, honestly, is Energy's late rotate in the zone.
They didn't notice it at all. Dojo didn't notice it at all until it was too late, to where they just caught in a pinch between IBG and NRG, and IBG pretty much just cleans up the rest of the game from there for free. But yeah, NRG's flank out of nowhere caught everybody off guard. IBG just plays super solid as a team. Hold hands is what we call it, or deathballing, is where you're literally just hugging each other, running as a tank unit. Because if you split, somebody gets caught off guard, that's where you see a flaw and teams take advantage immediately.
I think what's crazy about that final circle is the difference it made. NRG finishing third instead of second. Had they got those extra points, NRG would have topped the groups there, and that would have made a big difference in terms of what's kind of going down, confidence as we look through. But Darkzer and NRG, only a point between them. I mean, that's what you want as NRG fans. We were asking the questions, are they going to be up there? And they've answered that today.
I think a lot of teams have either answered some of our questions or surprised us depending on what region we're talking about in the moment, because we've had some standout performances across the board from so many of our squads. But now that this series is done, we can take an opportunity here to talk about those match results.
まだもう6試合あるらしいけど、1日18試合やってます、こいつら。バカなんで。
NRG in a spot where they could have gotten a few more points on the board for themselves. And right now, obviously, in groups, we've got a little bit more leeway. Still tons of time for these teams to get some points on the board. But talk to me a little bit about how that could potentially change those standings.
I mean, it's interesting, right? When game number 1 finished, I was like, NRG looks so solid. Like, what was it, like a 32-point game I think they had out of the blocks? And I was like, okay, if they have like a couple of solid games here, they're going to be topping it by much. But then you got to remember the quality of the lobby a lot of the times. It's no easy fight whatsoever, and it did change. Like, you got Dark Zero out there. They had a great series as well. But I think those last 3 games really changed things up, right? As soon as we moved maps, we changed over to Storm Point. It seems like
12試合するやつと6試合で終わるやつかな、今日。で、明日また、今日6試合で終わったやつは明日12試合とか。今日12試合で終わったやつは明日6試合。そんな感じなはず。
Get as heavy point on one as in comparison to the other, you are starting to see still there's those teams on Storm Point.
Honestly, I think when we saw these two groups going up against each other, we knew there were heavy hitters. We knew there was going to be a couple of teams that were going to big up those points, that were going to maybe make all those other teams that were going to struggle a little bit in the mid card, who want to be able to pick up, 4 or 5 every single time. The first 3 games that we casted, it was your usual suspects that were going to be up there, that were getting so many points. And if Darkzer is in a lobby like that, maybe they'll be looking at, could we have got more points? Because they had a great start and they started to fall off and then they pick it back up again. 59 isn't a huge total. We have seen it a lot higher from certain teams in certain places, but in that final match 6 result, Ironblood Gaming 24 would have given them such a big confidence boost now going into the other sets.
Graceful, who else jumped out for you in the entire performance here for match number 6?
For match number 6, I think IBG obviously clearly the winner, Blackhand as well playing well. I think Dojo though has been super consistent in general. The biggest thing across the entire series though, I feel like teams are waking up. They're stepping up, they're waking up, they're finally getting those reps in. You have to remember, many of these teams, some have had roster changes. Seer got changed out recently, mid scrims. They have been practicing a lot of new stuff. They can't just be heavy hitting immediately. They're using groups to warm up, get the tournament started. And it's just gonna go even harder each and every day.
Alright, well we also have the series results here talking about how close it was.
1ポイント。まあ別にこの1位2位はどっちでもいいや。プロリーグの1位2位の差はでかいけど。何ポイント差つくんやね。1位25で2位が20。22わからん。シンギュラリティ強。トムヤムくん。パル。15位ノーセーブ。積んでんやん。頑張れ、お父さん。急に外ムーブとかやるでや。下の方、アジアいっぱい。妥当やな。コンプレキシティ低く。ここだけちょっとおかしいけど。アライアンスもやばいな。まあまあまあ。
Just expect them to win games, right? Every single time we see them. So for Alliance, maybe not the performance they wanted, but I'm sure there's a lot left in the tank.
And then down at the bottom, you've got Kick there, and I'm just begging them to kind of change some POIs at the moment. It doesn't seem like they are going to retreat. And if you contest it every single map, then you are going to be down at the bottom of the table. And it's just at what point do you drop that ego a little bit?
Alright, well now even just comparing the first 2 series across the board, Graceful, what is your overall takeaway from the day so far?
I think that
まあ
a
本当に
lot of
関
teams
係な
in
いけど
general have been
予選の1位
slow
と2位
starting,
は
but every single team in the lobby can win.
順位より
Like,
ポイントが
can
大
win
事ですから
even the entire land.
ポイント
They
の
just have
合
to
計や
find
し
their groove and it's about to head up.
58ポイント
All right,
59
well,
ポイント
that is a
なら
wrap on our
大差ない
second series of the day. We still
予選
have
はどう
tons
でも
more
いいし
Apex Legends
ど
action
う
in
せ
store
NRG
for all
予
of
選
you. It's time for us to
突
send
破
it
す
to
る
a
の
short
がダー
break,
ツゼロ
though,
も
so don't go
TSM も
anywhere. We'll be right
見
back.
る意味がない勝つとこも分かってまったし
He's ripped two of them
ウィ
apart.
ナー
Down
ズ
to
ブラ
two
ケット
versus
からしか
one.
面白くない
Jonathan's might get them all killed.
スイートええか
Oh, it's all up to Timmy. Timmy puts them to sleep.
I bet you a Nessie plushie that Alliance win this game. It's a 2 versus 1. It's easily cleaned up. The plushie is mine, and Alliance will take the game.
The black hole completely sucks them in, and Singularity
次
clean
の試合
it
始まる
up.
まで長いな
Pioneers have gotten the edge to make it happen, but Pulverex claw the game back. It's IVG versus a solo from Black Hand, and the pride from IVG is just a little too good. The 6th game goes to Iron Blood Gaming.
キモいなそれはならキモいなThanks for watching ってあれ終わるもう終わったもしかしていや違うな I'll be right back って言ってるやつもう6試合のはずだけど試合間長いですね6試合と6試合の間が長い I was screaming be right back I'll be right back が俺は違うかどんぐらいやってんやろ選択しようフォローアスなんなら風呂入るかいやでも選択肢にと明日切
He
る
went back, he went back.
Yeah.
I'm checking
Yeah, keep
out
coming
underneath.
that. Keep coming that.
は
I don't
40
have
分
it, I
開
don't
く
see them
の
underneath.
キモ10分とか20分やと思った
I'm 4 or 5, yes I do.
バカじゃねえよ
Get ready to peek now? I'm peeking
キ
now.
モ
Come.
1 second behind you.
なんで
84 cracked.
なんで6試合の間40分もあったりするの何が怖いのそんなの TSM も勝てんの
Careful, hide.
どっちでもいいけどどうせ勝つし45分はやべえ
He's one shot.
やべえっすワンシャー
He's already one shot.
このチャラ普通のチャラ
Get back
Just the
inside.
one guy
前
left.
回大会のやつ鳴らしてるやんシャ
5-3 now.
ーキもっと
Where'd
前
he go?
4
I
or
don't see
5.
him.
He went down the hill.
He went like
down the
前
hill.
々回大会ぐらい
Still the full team above us. Team
Canada
Canada. It was died. It was Dark Zero.
I can loot a body.
That's a Bangor above us. Yeah, I think that's here.
You guys need to loot.
Bangalore above us
I think we, yeah, maybe.
Look at me, look at me. It's really safe.
They queued off my door down here. Yeah.
これてかチャンピオン取った時のやつやん最後
Yeah, grab energy
優
and
勝する瞬間のやつかこ
E6 died.
There's no energy.
Is that team gone on the east side, by
れ
the
なんで
way?
今更そんなん流しとん
I can go check.
I'm 16-3. I'll take this. Take this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check.
Yeah, check.
ナイスウィッ
I'm 16-3. You have details?
いや
どう
these
する
ones
ん
out.
この40分間ずっと喋っとんのかなああナイスウィ
I'm
ッ
16-3. You have details?
Yeah, I need 4 cells. I need 4 cells.
Did you hear me? There's
アルブラレリー鉄拳勝士話にならんお前このタイミングでランクしとるバカおるし
You're
リ
gonna snipe
ー
that.
チは一緒やろ
Back
Wasn't
up
the
north.
team?
You don't have the counter.
ランクすんの
The fuck do they think they're going, bro? He missed it, they missed it, they missed it.
Fine, try towards us north.
Yeah.
They went back. They went back.
Okay. I almost killed the guy here. Hey, let me. I can shoot Falcons too, by the way.
Yeah. Down to the north.
Evan, Jordan, or Evan, they can peek that door and just shoot you.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Well, I'm gonna call if they're on the door.
I wonder if the corner spot is open. Have we looked? Have we been able to see that?
I can't check it.
That's possible to check from here, I think.
If there's a guy there, I see him. We just try to get as many points here. That's what we're looking for, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Falling in on the back here. But really bad spot. They wouldn't
Yeah.
shut down. They're nading that. They're bangles in that
right above
too.
us.
They might push that. They might push this bangle.
That's the team
Get ready.
above us, by the way.
Yeah. They put a gen down. They're getting shot at. He's getting downed. Back there.
We have zone. We have zone. We're in a decent spot. We can
the
still
zone's
win
pretty
this.
good for us.
Yeah,
Zone's
yeah.
really good for us.
Look, we gotta be careful. People are flying in.
Yes. Yeah. Look at these angles we have. These headies are really nice. We just play around here. This mid area.
One guy down or finished. Back there. They're still getting shot at.
Still a team cannon. Still a team across to the east, and still a team on height. Okay.
Okay. Evan, look at the doors while I'm looking at this.
Okay.
They missed that on me.
And
the team, we gotta be careful of this team on high. I don't know what they're gonna do. They might shoot the team above
They
us.
should still be safe up there. There's plenty of space for them up there. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
No, they can walk along that outside rock. And
That's if they know that. They might not know that. They're putting a Moby here and sinking it.
Singing it!
Under?
On the low ground, low ground, low ground!
I
Walk the
scanned
high
10.
team.
Scan in 3.
You wanna
I
peek,
can
Evan?
scan low ground in 3. 3
Yeah,
seconds.
we can.
3 seconds.
The team on height that might look, but yeah, I'm down.
Scanning. They moved. They dodged it.
90 up here.
Go back.
The high tree now. High tree now.
Go back. There's a team right here shooting a like.
They're getting fried under.
There's a team cave and there's a team on ultimate height, by the way. Just so you know, over here.
Okay.
Just double thick focuses, or maybe even trio focuses.
Let me know.
You're gonna have to jump. Actually, they're kind of safe there. They're actually safe there.
Could get interesting.
You want to peek again, maybe, Evan?
I scanned low ground.
The low ground team just smoked us, pal. They just queued me too. They just smoked and queued us.
Down.
Slide down.
Hey, I am.
I'm batting. One down the door. Crack the bat here. I'm weak.
Just bat. Yeah, we're chilling. You can see keep the low ground. See keep the low ground.
I don't have it yet. 5 seconds. They're fighting down low.
I know. I can't peek that. NRG died. That was NRG. We're in a zero, by the way. We are in a zero. We're in a zero. I know. We're in a zero, though. I'm going now. I'm gonna go peek this now, I think.
I'm watching the back door still.
With you, Al.
I can't see them. They're far right. All far right.
Going back.
I have 40 energy. They might push us, Evan. The team on low ground.
Do they have multi-cells?
I have one. Yeah. Here.
I have an optic cell as well, Jordan. Can you carry?
Popping it. I can pop it.
Just hold it for now.
I'm dropping it.
Hold it. Just hold it. I don't want to hold back.
Wait, someone just horizon queued.
You can drop it. Drop it to me.
I'm
Here.
6'4".
Dropping.
Still a team on height. Still
Team
a
height
team
still
cannon.
safe. The team northwest on the high ground is still safe.
Okay, it's not that bad of a zone for us.
Not that bad.
Yep.
I'm 40 energy. Like, start bullying them. Like, all of us.
Team on height,
Do you
either
queue
one.
them, Jordan?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look for them.
Is there a team back here? Also, can you scan that? Scan on my ping.
I got one on scan down low. There's still one closer to you. Scan that? Okay, let me look. I can't see it. Nothing on scan over
They
there.
bang ulted us. They
Hi.
bang ulted us.
High cube me. I'm on high cube.
I dropped down.
Listen, there's a solo somewhere. I think the solo is actually here, by the way. There's a solo on my ping.
They're fighting height. They're fighting height. Horizon
Okay.
height.
Be careful.
You want
Google,
zero
throw
me
me
down? I can zero me this.
Yes, look. Look underneath. They're gonna look. Look at me. Look at me.
One on me inside.
On my door.
I'm looking at you, Jordan.
Got him.
Nice.
Push him.
I'm watching low ground push.
Are they trading on height?
On height. They're still on height.
I can't tell.
I'm scanning.
Someone just respawned over here.
Can we go, Rose? Finally,
yes. I'm jumping on that. Cracked him. He's one.
There's a guy just dropped off on the north side. Solo Seer.
It's one guy, he ran down. Heal. Ping energy, please.
I need heavy ammo.
Body there.
There's someone right down here. It's a team down here.
I got energy.
It's a full team down there.
Listen, we have to prioritize other side. Be careful if people walk like queuing up.
Team on high. I don't know if the team on high jump or not yet. There's a guy outside here. On my ping.
Yes, that's a solo. I think that's a solo.
Yeah.
Should we get the kill?
No. We worry about position right now.
Okay.
We have to shoot these guys. Falco thing. We just have to worry about getting across, okay? Come now. Look at them, might land on our spot.
Yeah, they did.
I'm hitting them.
No, back one. I got
almost up.
Stay by me.
I have the Muppet Medi. I have the Medi.
Good. I'm holding.
We did the kill under us.
Look down the hill. They're wiping inside. We might start playing inside, maybe? You have Cyril?
I can pop an ulti cell and I'm gonna get ulti.
Pop in front of us. We can drop on the side.
No, shut up. Hold on.
I'm gonna pop ulti cell. I'm ulting now.
Yeah, ulti.
They're fighting to the left as well, I think.
We got a third party to fight. We got a third party E somehow.
Okay. Yeah, pop in a syringe.
We Falco now, I think. Falco now, so I noob it. We win this game.
Go.
We noob this.
Where?
Ooh. They're fighting back here.
We land behind these guys.
Yes.
They're looking for it. I have no nades.
I'm moving forward.
Red. I'm nading them.
See you're dead. One close now. One close in the smoke.
Knock one inside.
Knock well.
I'm going in.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Hold the spot. Jordan, anchor.
Yeah, I'm going back.
The down guy somewhere. There's a down guy somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at. Watch that sliding rock.
Hold it.
Holding it.
Hold this spot.
The team right here.
Get around, Jordan. There's a solo somewhere.
I know. I have nothing on scan.
Nothing on scan. I think. No,
There's a full team right in front of you.
We just hold this.
そこ見た。
I don't know. Nothing on scan.
優勝した試合ですからね。
Nothing on scan.
Right here, Jordan. See him? 3, 2.
まだホラキューの球はまっすぐ飛ぶし。チャラはチャージライフル。今もチャージライフルか。
Pinch everybody.
Can we shoot this Valkyrie, guys? Do not let them
Pinch everybody! いって爪
They're letting back. I'm pushing this guy.
One guy.
Stay there, Jordan.
I'm close to you.
I cracked him almost.
I ulted them. I'm on the back.
Bang is one.
We can look at this. See Digis?
One's on top of us.
We look at this.
I got 30+1. We gotta kill them.
On the back. Look at this, guys. We gotta push forward.
Go forward.
I'm on the back.
2人じゃないの
Seer on me, one. Thirst. Ready to swap.
On the left.
Chill, top 3.
Play this rock.
Top 3.
I'm healing right now.
Top 3. I'm gonna get to the rock. Now.
I have 17 heavy.
Last team.
Something heavy, Jordan. Evan. Or
Here,
heavy.
take this.
Okay.
At least a duo. You're being named. They need to me.
No, pop it yourself.
あのハゲ頭がワンマガでキーマウじゃなかったら
I'm gonna cue that.
アセ
You
ン
ready?
ドが
One swing left.
I'm queuing left.
I think we play slow.
Yeah, we have zone.
The wall's on the left crate. Can't do anything.
I don't know. We hold this.
I'm batting.
Heal.
This is my last bat.
I'm dropping you to back.
3人ここにおるし
It's full three.
They might push off that. They're not pushing. Why are we all here?
There's nowhere else to play.
俺と同じこと思ってるやっぱり俺もインテリアで
I do not have nades.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
しかないんやろ
Two on the rock. There's 2 on the rock and 1 on the left on the box.
Focus the guy on the left. You two focus left.
違うまだや
Both of you.
He's going back.
どっかで配慮してしゃがみ歩きで近づいてきたのこいつマジでここで75ダメしか入れねんかったのが痛すぎてもうこれで積んだやばい撃ち合った味方が撃ち合ったって歩いとるとこホラ級でボコボコにされたしああ マジでこいつがパッとやったら勝っとったやろな。一人をホライゾン落としてこれだから気に舞うわ。気づいてない敵もまんまができるんだから。
Do you go for bottom? Do you go bottom?
Bottom taken.
Yeah, one second. Okay. We can wrap and then play bridge left side.
Yeah.
There maybe? I can't figure out.
There's no way we can go.
The zip line's free.
Bottom zip line?
We're gonna go rotate for this. We're gonna rotate for this.
Oh, that one? Okay.
We're gonna have to run along the wall.
ダークゼロの
Ready, ready.
優勝試合かこれ。あ、これ最近のやつ。
Okay, someone might be here.
ギルドがやらかして勝てた。
No. No. I'm gonna kill us into the zip line, right? Stand right here.
Yep.
Scan him up.
Scanning in a second. Yeah, we're good, we're good.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Easy.
What
I'm up,
are
how
you
many souls?
doing?
5.
I have
8.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sell them.
So we have like the best one.
Yep.
The left's line's up. Is anyone high ground?
No, I'm not sure. This is good.
Wait,
this is
craft.
good.
Is anyone crafting?
Yeah, I do.
You can craft without
No, I
getting shot.
don't
remember.
actually. Fuck.
Jen, do you have crafting? You will.
Yeah, I have 20.
Yeah, you can craft without getting shot.
Okay,
Over
get
here,
this
here.
side.
All sides the same. All sides.
ヤオンさんは闇落ちですよ。
Nothing but.
I don't think there's anyone across.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Hide is hard down.
We just need to hold our.
Oh,
back
actually,
here.
it's gonna try kill us.
Then
Alright?
this crosses. I mean, they really can't with the
端
team
の
under.
端じゃないけど、
What's up
I
this
have
right
4 too.
第3アンチの
I'm
端っこがぐらいが一番いいやろ。
If I get a juicer, it's actually
端の
huge.
端
But
は辛いけど。ダ
I don't want this juicer.
ダックゼロって別に端チー
Oh,
ム
she's gonna be staring though. Are they looking?
I can't break that
Sunny
trap. I
anti-talk
can't break that
ってこの
trap.
辺に
I'm
なって
Are they
like,
looking? Can I get this?
I'm checking.
I'm not
they're
gonna get
looking,
that.
they're looking, they're looking. I can't break this trap out of
あえてやっとんのかな。あえてやっとったら天才やけど。
Yeah.
The right pin is unlooted as well for later.
まあ知らんし。
No one's high ground. I don't think anyone's high ground at all, bro.
Yeah, I think we're fine. I think they're fine on high ground. Unless there's a team just sitting in that back area, but that'd be stupid. They should be playing out.
マッチポイント。どんな気持ち
That's a
だ
nice little rotate, look.
こんな気温さんやけど、いまだに詳細のチェンバーテンさんがおるでな。
It's gonna be like
Plus, plus, plus.
Yeah, it's fine.
Look, looking,
It's
looking,
just a
looking.
good. Oh,
最
all
近
the way
別
though,
に
yeah.
ジェンバーテンさんの視点見てないんでどんな感じなのかわからんけど。
That's Seer.
Horizon,
Seer,
Horizon.
43リニアと同じぐらい強いのかな。
Am I run for bottom? Maybe. I'm looking.
Hang on, think far.
それやったらすごいけど。
They might try Kyo up middle.
最近目立ってないですね。普通に43リニアで出てきたパッドの方が強いですもん。多分。
Low ground middle?
I mean, they're low
の
ground.
方が
They're
強いか
actually-
わからんけど、そいつらが普通に目立つんで。
I mean, if we play middle of left side, is it better?
そんなやつらに
Yeah,
囲まれなが
probably
ら
right, but if OG
詳
gets
細
the I mean, me and Jack can try to hold
400
this.
で
I can just
目
wall,
立
I
と
can
う
wall
とする
diagonally now, and then we can just cross.
なかなか
You want to do
ハ
it?
Yeah, but I don't know
I
what to
think
make
it's
of this
better
if we can hold
though.
them
It's
there,
better.
right?
better. I
Doemuyan.
think it's better.
Okay, I should use wall
There
now.
could be someone left zip line. There could be someone left
自
zip
分
line.
い
We
じ
don't
め
know.
抜いとる。
Oh, we have to
Oh, she's
swing up.
looking. They're looking.
I think this is good if we can hold our cheek. It's really hard from this intense, you know?
We'll see zone. Yeah, but left
Yeah.
side doesn't get into. Like
で
this
も
side
ゼ
does
ロ
get
が
into.
ジェンバーテンだけは捨てんのがすごいの。
Well, we just hold height. We just hold height this side. But we're gonna have to fight that left.
使える使えんで捨てるっていうか、なんかやる気があるかないかで捨ててそうだね。
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight that team in
エイ
height.
ペックスちゃんといっぱいやっとる味方は捨てへん。
It's just gonna be spam.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna have to
使え
kill
る
this team
使え
in
へん
height.
で
And OG
決
gonna
め
drop
るん
the
やっ
fight
た
the
ら
team.
もう
Okay.
正直詳細でいまだに頑固で詳細でやってる。
Swing,
Fine, fine. For sure. We're just at the wall to
You
this.
just have to walk to this.
シャーキーが抜けた時
We're
に
gonna have to do it from right here.
Yes,
We're gonna
I know.
break horizon now, alright? Open
コーチの PVP 蹴っ飛ばした時もなんか
We're gonna get-
こいつら
we're gonna get
仕
our
事
own
エイ
corner,
ペ
you know what I
ックスやらん
Okay,
か
do you have a heavy mag for my
捨てた
pal?
って言っと
Or
ったし
Yeah, yeah.
what's that on?
ランボーは知らんけどランボーはわからん
Let them cross this prayer. Alright?
何も言ってないし多分
We should have gone.
なんか別にランボー
Middle,
に
middle,
まだ加入は確定してないよって言っとったみたいなこ
We
と
should
言っ
have
と
gone
った
left. Not gonna lie.
なんで結局蹴り飛ばしたの蹴り落としたのかわからんね
The sides are pretty even, but I think it's gonna pull more left. I mean, it might be
でも
this
ジェ
one.
ンバーテンは
Oh, she looking?
めっちゃランクしてソロランクもしてやる気があるって褒めとった
Yeah.
Someone is
I'm
running
gonna
up.
break, thank you.
結局そこな気がするこいつ
Yeah, this is
Rather
looking.
there.
プレイ時間にこだわりがち
42.
Be careful. Little. Fine.
I might get CQ. I might have to wall a bit earlier than usual.
Yeah.
CQ.
Well, I don't have much. No, you're fine. You're fine. I don't even have much range.
Yeah, okay, you don't? Okay.
Maybe.
Jim
Somebody
Barton,
stairs,
Raven,
stairs, stairs, like right here. They won't kill you on 10.
Oh, she's
Pretty sure.
They should
Run
evac
forward.
though. Should evac. Can you bring this Kaki Gen when they evac so I can let the bin?
I can't
Yeah,
kill
they're evacing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably break it until you get on it.
Broke it.
Alright. Okay, get ready to walk.
I'm
broken.
They might take me. Look. I'm gonna wall.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it soon.
Now?
Yeah, probably. Or soon.
Doing it now.
Stop.
Oh.
Clear. Got a lot of nades.
Look, kill it.
There we
I
go.
know if we try it. I know if we try it. Stick on that.
You ready to get kills? You guys look left. You guys
Looking
look
left. Looking left. You're doing it.
Oh, right, look over.
I think we just chill for a second.
Good job.
Yeah, we can get the five. We get worried with the 33s.
Yeah.
Wall jumping soon. 2
Alright,
seconds.
listen. I think if we nade them once, right? If we nade them once, they're gonna. Yeah, we can int them.
Yeah, I have it at 14.
I think we go for this fight.
Okay, I'm nading it.
Is there someone low gun?
I'm burning him, blue.
It's on. It's on.
Can you see
Go.
Can you see
No, I have it at 3. Just
Okay,
go
stick to that. No,
I'm
go
pushing
forward.
out.
Going in.
Stick you.
1 second. Just go. But
not
not there.
there.
Fine.
Just take it.
Got it?
Where'd they go?
Bottom
Yeah,
left.
down here. Yeah, it might just be a solo horizon, bro.
No, that's 2 at least.
Nice.
2 at least.
Sa su ga
Okay,
Zayn.
okay,
Look at the
Somebody hold left.
I'm holding left.
I think I'm gonna come back.
I'm going right, Jen.
Yeah, I'm holding left.
素晴らしい。もう右戻っとるやん。
Oh no.
これが
Over here.
ダークゼロか。
Fighting bridge.
They're blue armor.
We played this corner, right? I'm
これ
okay.
がってかこれができんか
Panda
ら
team is the problem.
Yeah, I'll wall that. When I get it.
Team height too. Like up
Team
here
dropping
where
it?
they were. Yeah, look at this, Zero. 90.
Where are you shooting?
Right on this smoke. In that smoke. They're
They're
right
fighting
there.
here. It's gone in.
Okay.
Have you seen it around? No one's in there?
Yeah. I'm gonna see on top. I scanned everything but that.
You're gonna roll again, John.
Should.
Yeah, I'm on 15.
Never mind.
Yeah, just going for that corner. We fully played Logan. We won the game.
Look here too. We have to worry about the team, I think, there.
Two nades left.
80. I'm gonna wall from B
running
guys.
in there,
中距離
right.
がそう考えられやすいとか言っとったし
I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna jump down the wall.
中距離がうんち
Running open. Up.
中距離がうん
You
ち
guys ready?
Yeah.
Should I do it soon?
We're done if we go soon.
慣
Yeah,
れてない
a little
だ
bit.
けなんだ
Well, we wait for
It should be the open right.
Okay, I'm doing
Wall
it.
here. Wall left.
I will left. Come.
I'm one cell.
We need a
There's
hold.
the box
One cell, one
on.
back.
ここやん
Take.
I fight top.
Go.
Fight.
Loot this kid.
There's light.
ネメシス
I need energy.
I need Cypher. Left too. Chill, guys.
They're running left.
Chill here.
Where are they?
In front of me. In the cracked one.
Okay, it's fine.
Did I spam them?
You can. There's like they're in the corner.
We're safe here, guys. I don't think
Okay,
they
okay.
can like peek us from that last
覗
side.
け覗けジェンバーテンしか覗かんよ
I'm
They're
31.
holding the
Hold on,
rock. They're
hold on,
holding.
hold on.
Going down.
They fighting forward.
Just kidding.
I'm on
Break
that.
this.
全員死ぬやんそれ
Can't talk. Can't rip. Shoot to you.
Looking.
Cracked one. This is so
We can
weak.
shoot you.
Yeah, we can cut it. Just shoot.
作
No,
戦
I'm no zero energy.
90.
Fine,
かもこれ
Do you wanna take
国
room or-
国大な
No,
ん
no, we
か
want
で
to
かい
swing
ポ
it.
テチ
It's a high game. Just hold the swing.
もう今日の夜ご飯はポテチでいいと思う
Nah, it's too risky. We just gotta hold that corner.
Yeah,
They're out before us, alright? We can't let them go
Yep.
wrong. They're going wrong. That's not good.
何個持っとんねん
Any heavy?
Well, you're gonna have wall, right?
Yeah, I can give you heavy.
Yeah.
Do you have any altar cells for him?
I have 60%. I'll get it.
Okay. No altar
That's
cells?
the only team that needs to die. They're not really gonna get picked though. They might though. We can't let them play in here, alright? In here.
Yeah, we can't.
Oh, yeah.
You can play here, by the way. Should
I'm
have
I'm off the wall right side.
People are going for free kills.
You're just gonna wall left and we're gonna chill under, right?
Yeah.
Can't hide
Bring
shoot
on.
us.
No,
Bring
you
on,
can
bring on.
chill under. You can chill under.
Okay, I'm gonna
Wait,
wall
shots,
left.
They're playing high ground. They're playing high ground.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna wall left.
No, do it early.
No.
As late as possible.
Fighting group.
It's a very slow
Fighting
zone.
group.
I'm
Oh,
down,
above us!
above us.
There's a team above us!
Sure.
I'm chilling, I'm taking it.
Eating this? Yeah. Then you will.
Nothing.
And I wall, yeah, 5% on wall.
Someone's wall low gun.
Right, 2 seconds on wall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wall in a second.
Popping someone there.
I'm walling.
全部殺せ。
Kill that, kill that.
Nice, Joe.
ていうかこの時の世界大会みんなフェネスプラウラでクソつまらんかったんよ。
I'm batting. Johnny, I'm batting down
み
here.
んな視点見せられてもね。
Popping someone next to me. I'm picking the wall.
Coming back.
Wall's probably gotta go down.
Okay, on me.
Yeah, we're on you.
弾多いバーストでもエイムがいいのエイム良くてもあれでも関係ないしそんなに。
Show here, show here, show here.
I'm in the corner.
He's popping next to us. Wall jumping. He's wall jumping.
Yeah, jumping.
Running back. I'm gonna
I'm
take
staying
it.
here. I see
Right there.
Second tier.
Joe,
I'm jumping there, look.
right Ryan. Just stare at this.
だいぶしんどいけど。
Lock on hill.
They're gonna drop.
Probably not.
うわ
Look at them. I'm no heals.
We're good.
I'm going to
Joe
loot.
backside.
I'm chilling on the
この
wall.
壁クソでかい
I'm
ね。
jumping on you. No, I got jump kills.
I'm grabbing. I'm fine.
Just chill.
ギルドがやらかしたよ。スイートに怒られたとこや。
He died.
Check going. Look at it.
Nice. He's red. I'm getting it.
Joe here, chill.
でいいね。
I'm trying to kill
も
him. Where's going?
Joe, this backside. Kill.
I'm taking the cube. I won.
Kill one.
I'm dead.
うおーどっちも見るよ。 なんで勝てたんやろ。ぐちゃぐちゃすぎて全然わ
Right
かんない。
now, LG is going to be going up in stocks, playing off the bunker doors here. You see the piercing spikes put down in front of them. That's going to be TSM looking for the opportunity to contest LG. They already get the first stock right here. Option now playing a lot more passive, putting themselves in a risky situation. They're not going to get involved here, but the TSM versus LG will.
Nice defensive grabbing.
I
believe is that blocking TSM out from going in, but he does it.
Oh,
way too much damage on the Prowler.
Welcome Big E coming out here doing Big E things. Let's jump into a listening with TSM after Effect gets the knock into reps.
I'm safe right here.
Maybe not. Can you connect Q to?
Maybe, yes. Maybe later on. When they're
I don't know.
yeah, you gotta cue me and you shoot at me. You have to shoot that.
そういうの見せてくれるなら使ってくれていいけど。しょうもない70とかで合計150とか見たくない。
I'm gonna scan.
I need Opix over wall. Actually,
Nobody inside right now. Look at scan. I'm healing up.
Hey, loot bats if you need.
Go outside and heal up.
Swing inside.
Yep. There's 3 bats here if you need.
I need to look for ult cells inside.
I got gold knock.
I'm healing outside right now. We need to look for ult cells inside so we can get wall back.
この試合は何の試合？
Q's on this doorway over here, Evan.
Yeah. Someone's up. Close doorway. Up the bat.
Are you good?
Yeah.
I'm only my side right now. We have digits. Use the digits.
I did. I'm looking.
I got Kraber from the roof now. We have a Kraber on the rooftop on the right building.
I think we need to play for the kills on the rock out here.
We play so we can win this game. We can win this game here. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to walk out right side?
Yeah, we're gonna play on the front and shoot the team on the roof.
Okay.
They're right here. Can we all peek this?
One sec.
Yeah.
The solo's on the roof. He's killing out.
Crack the catalyst.
Horizon has the Kraber.
74 on Sears. 74. Crack Sears.
One dead.
Shit on two.
Rubens, no cover, I don't think. No, they do
Who has the
cover.
Kraber? Was that them?
That was them. Yes, that was them.
Okay.
The team's still inside. I think.
How do you
There's a
need
team on the
three
left rock
frags?
still. There's a team on the left rock still.
Whatever.
I have 3 frags. You need?
Inside. Jumping down. Shoot front.
You're gonna counter straight across here, I think, Kraber. Okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk to the left and do it, I think. And then wall to the right.
Straight across here, I think.
バースト。
Okay?
Yep.
バーストしょうもないな。
Look at scan.
There's a team right on our left, like really close right.
Find the right front wall. Look at the kills.
They're diving them. Shoot the guy on the right.
同じ150ダメージでもフルオートの150とバーストの150全然なんか見とる方の気持ちが違う。やっとる方もそうだけど。バーストで70と75とか入れても全然嬉しくない。これフルオートで中距離150とか入ると気持ちいい。気持ちよさが全然違う。見たくないわ、バースト。やばっ。こいつやっぱでもすごい。135とか150とか。この距離のバーストプラウダーで入れる。
He's down on the right.
Q10.
We're gonna have no cover. Let me ape this maybe.
Should we pick right? Should we swing right?
Swing right. Left.
In the everyone ape one.
Hook one. Nice.
勝ったけどこれ何の試合
TSM! Take game number 1!
TSM とダークゼロがチャンピオン取った試合ばっかりやんめっちゃヒーチされてるこいつら
Evac towers down. Here come Alliance now. This could be a fight for the ages because they're trying to approach on TSM. They're going to have to play under them for now. We've been talking about Verhulst, we've been talking about Effect. Well, this battle could be massive for the context of not just that little story, but TSM are right above them and they are grouping as well. As Alliance now are getting a little bit of grief from Dark Zero getting involved. But all the meanwhile, TSM can just look down from above here. The black hole comes down, but that just invites Dark Zero to come and have a piece of this. Alliance all of a sudden find themselves in a little bit of a shambles. TSM don't let this opportunity slip. They slide in, they get a couple of kills, exit out.
今の世界大会こそ見るべきやった
He's gone down.
Verhulst has gone down, but TSM are picking up kills. 5 points off match point, but FC Destroy are in the area as Dark Zero will finish off Riddle Order. 7 squads remain. TSM still alive, but FC Destroy were griefing them. But TSM, it looks like they have got back up to a full 3, and they managed to get Verhulst back on his feet.
Dark Zero down in this low ground. Fire Beavers eliminated. Fire Beavers will not be partaking in this final fight that we're going to see. Solo was dismantled, taken apart as TSM march forward once more. A little bit of loot to play with here for them as well. That's how the lay of the land is at the moment. Optic Gaming right in the middle of that truck. Next to them, sharing the carriage almost, is Pulverix. Phase of Rats to the north side of this zone. And then on the other side, you can see FC Destroy overlooking the position of TSM.
Pulverix and FC Destroy certainly in good spots right now, especially when you consider their compositions as well. FaZe, still a squad who can do some damage from this northern side. I like to play north in this zone because you can come from above, you can use the lips as a little bit of a head glitch.
19とかボルトのワンマが避け切ったらキーマウにも勝ち目あるようにさしてあげる
6 squads that remaining means you have to be very careful with where you try and push here, because if you expose yourself from even the slightest angle, there could be several teams that will just destroy you as you move.
Something here is the rotate for TSM and Dark Zero. How do they try and approach it? Dark Zero are going to have to go through Optic and FaZe. On the other side of things, TSM are going to have to be so aware of the position of FC Destroy. Yes, TSM have the high ground here, but they don't have the zone. That's going to be pulling towards Pulverix.
4 points required for TSM
to
get
to
to that point, and now they're making their move towards FC Destroy. Dark Veil goes down just to give them that extra cover, and even though FC Destroy are going to post up and take this fight, TSM look like they know they have to go in this direction. They can't afford to go north.
Kills won't be enough here for
ボコボコにするけど
TSM.
結局負ける
There's the Newcastle wall. The castle wall's a problem, but so is Verhulst. He's going in, but can't quite get the knock. There's the move on shield, and TSM eliminated Newcastle. Showing how valuable he is to FC Destroy. Dark Zero now using the Dark Veil that was put down to try and shadow their way in.
Pulverix go down as well. Dark Zero now will
Zainu, come on. Oh, 残念。負け。カーに負け。カーだけじゃないかったっぽいけど。2人ぐらいかな。ボルト。ダークゼロ男やん。フラウラー使ってない。FC がチャンピオン取ったし。誰が見たいの？ふざけんな。
They stop TSM in their tracks. They take them out of the game, and they take game number 2.
Dark Zero now find themselves 5 away from match point, and not only that, they now own the entirety of the western side of this circle. They can hold off, they can play patient, and they should get an easy route into the top 3.
I mean, it's a fantastic view to show how much control Dark Zero have right now. Everybody else has to walk through each other to get to zone, and then they have to go through oxygen. Who's up on the high ground? Who's on their own? It's going to be Dark Zero. Pioneers fall in the meantime, we're down to 5.
It should be a Dark Zero or an Oxygen win with the positions that both of these teams currently hold. NRG are down to a 2, so this is going to be a struggle, but they want to just get as much placement points as possible. The other squads, of course, LG Chivas and Xset that you can see on your screen, they've got to arrive from the northern side. It's going to be the most difficult situation for those two squads, because not only have they got to fight each other, but then they're going to get griefed by Oxygen and NRG, and then eventually Dark Zero.
Rolling Thunder coming down, you can see that on the right-hand side of your screen. LG trying to force their way forward. Exit just trapped inside of that bunker and trying to take this fight right now. Surprising. LG zone starts to close very, very soon though. LG know what they're going to do. Just hold. Make sure that Exit cannot escape. And don't take too much damage while you do it. However, they've had to expend now the exhibit from Sear. The Dark Veil goes down from Exit, they're trying to escape.
Yeah, all these ults are being used to escape, which means if they even get into the final circle, it's going to be so difficult for them to win. But at the moment, it's about surviving. It's about moving on and trying to avoid this fight as best as you can. But then when you force it, when you are able to isolate it, then you have to dive on it. Because otherwise, you're just going to get thirded too easily.
Digi's going to be important here for fun. Nocturnal sends in the smokes. LG are forced out their little hidey hole up into the thinner air above them. The Q is going to be good, and it gets them safe. But now they get that opening knock, but send in Sykes. He'll exchange LG eliminated. Another black hole comes in. But while all this fighting's going down, Dan, you've got to think Dark Zero. They're able to just hold on to their ultimates for this endgame.
Dark Zero just sit pretty. They wait their patience. Exit eliminated as Dark Zero now find themselves 1 point. No, Dark Zero have done it. They will be on match point, but what a big fight this is to try and win this game. As Oxygen Esports, they need these points.
It's a straight 3v3. Vayne is desperately trying to pop that ult excel, but 99% turns to 100. He is going to be able to throw that Rolling Thunder down. Oxygen do have zone here. Dark Zero will have to move, but the damage from Dark Zero might be enough for them to have to make the move without too much risk here.
Also, if Dark Zero have been doing their math, they know they're on match point. They can play this one a little bit more fearless, but a win going into the next map would do wonders for their confidence. At the moment, it's ring around of roses from these Dark Veils. Where are you going to go? Is it going to be left or right?
Height versus zone at the moment. Dark Zero do not want to give up this fight without giving out some damage before they do so. But as soon as these Dark Veils expire, that's going to be the signal maybe to push. Here we go. The black hole goes down. Zainu's going to swing. They're going to go left. They're going to look to tough them up. They're going to look to put them to bed. Zainu moves in. It's a 2v1.
It's a 2v1 and it should just be easy from here. But the knockdown shield makes things a lot more difficult.
Zainu goes up onto high. Vayne left on his own, trying to do what he can. It would be a mesmerizing play if he could pull this off, but Jens had time now to pop that battery. Send in Zainu. Send in Jin Burden. Send the victory screen towards Dark Zero, and Jen's up on the desk. Match point achieved for Dark Zero alongside a champion banner.
Let's jump into a listening with Dark Zero to see how they rotate from this.
16.
They're in, guys. They're right here. Okay, chill. I can hold. Is this team being crossed?
ザインずっと救急なのお前に惚れそうなんていいや
Yeah, I'm good on me, guys. I'm good on me. You should probably play on me.
I'm 21.
申し訳ない他のやつらとは大違い
Come to me. Stick you. I just shut out the guy above me. They're dying. I'm picking. You're all thing for you.
Oh.
Kill. In the block. Yeah. Nice. Not your team.
Not team. I'm going back in.
I'm looting.
Yeah, I'm looting. Go inside. I'm looting. Yeah. There's a guy up here. Zero.
There's a battle crafter. Okay.
I need heals.
Here, I can drop you 8.
Right here. That's a whole team. 40 on 1.
No bats.
I'm here.
I think we have to evac.
I don't have.
We need a
look at left.
Okay, I'm gonna finish.
On car.
Yeah, looking. He's getting made.
Besting.
Nice. Watch your team at height too, guys.
Oh, yeah, we have to evac.
Yeah, back.
We don't have a choice.
The back is good. Yeah, we have to do it.
There's someone right above us though, I think.
There is someone above us.
I'm gonna pick you up late. I'm gonna pick you up late. I got him.
Oh man,
I'm with you.
Chill.
Come back.
I need back. Just don't be back.
I'm dropping you one.
We need to go this side. You need to come this side.
I got a few. Come.
Okay. I'm weak.
Pop that bat and come.
Yeah, I am. I'm batting.
They're shooting someone else. It's fine.
Yeah, we're running out with you.
Okay, I'm coming.
We can walk up here and look left. I'm pretty sure that team might be a duo.
I don't know if we're back.
I'm just gonna make it.
We have to run. I don't know if we can evac. I'm gonna try taking it.
I'm kidding.
Take.
Take that.
I'm taking.
Just Floyd.
Maybe here.
This is zone. Land here. Oh my ping.
Landing.
I feel someone there, maybe.
Doesn't matter. Chill in front of me. Chill.
I'm here. Someone's on us.
No, chill.
Okay.
Chill right here.
I'm making.
Shoot a little bit. I'm just got it. Scott needed it.
Joe. We're good. They shouldn't push us. I'm playing Piles.
We need to play
cannon.
too.
Full team cannon. Put it here.
We need to play a little left. We need to hold.
I can wall up.
No, chill. Just chill. Team here too, guys. Team here too.
Team cannon might push us.
70 of them. Chill.
On me. One's on me.
I got one.
I'm gonna scan. They're getting shot in their back.
I'm breaking.
Straight down. Run left.
They're trying to fight us.
Serious 70.
I walled.
Chill.
They're running back, guys.
Chill. Wait, okay, I'm here.
They're running back.
ザイニーのスーパーワングリップ出てくる。
We have to play here.
めちゃくちゃ耐える。
They're close. I'm gonna block. Chill.
I get two zones. Down it.
Oh.
You can maybe reset, maybe.
これ
Maybe reset.
こっからワンマガするべこい
Maybe
つ。
reset.
I'm gonna chill.
Down here.
ワンマガの気配が
Res
する。
maybe.
Stay res. Right.
スナイペダウン。
Push it. Pull down. Nice try.
The dream is still alive. Dark Zero gets to lead it out of the lobby as Faye's moving, and they are going to join them. 3 squads left. Alliance keeping themselves on the board. It's going to be Alliance, Oxygen Esports, and KCP who are alive on the other side.
No one else looking like they can make it to match point by the next game, but certainly a couple looking to push up further. Oxygen sitting on 40 at the moment, might be the closest out of that. Actually, Alliance is just behind them on 39. Dark Zero, it was a solid rotation, but too many teams. I don't know if they'd worked out if it was DZ or not. There was a lot of sending going on there.
It was intense there too because FaZe was holding that back the entire time. Catwalk coming in for Oxygen. Vayne looking low before he can pop a medi. Oxygen now moving in. Let's see if he can pump the shield back. He's going to start it right now. The Archers are getting hurdled currently in Aiden's direction. The gravity limit.
Alliance are in the best position to take care of this. They are just waiting for this to play out. The Pioneers have some high ground.
And the Archstars nasty with these nades have been on another level. Currently, KCP holding the high ground means the gravity lift is what this squad's going to do to try to contest them. Alliance lose out on Yuki in effect. This is looking to be KCP's game.
From the high ground, apparently it's just too much of an advantage. Oxygen stayed alive this whole time. Wow, the rat play does work out to grab them some points, but KCP and Natsuki take center stage here in Game 4.
That in called. He is hyped. We're doing it, boys. You can already hear it in the Natsuki comes. Lifting his team up in the air as the pop-off comes in. KCP, game number 4 are your winners. Alliance, north of 100 Thieves, shrinking for 100 Thieves. They don't have the natural cover of the rocks unless they go to the right.
Oh, both of the teams might struggle to get out of this one. As you can see, Alliance try and stay ahead of the zone and ahead of the game. Whoever wins this should be able to make it to the train cars just to the northwest of them, but they've lost effect.
The circle doing so much damage, bringing tears to the eyes of Alliance. Nice little wall hop here. Oh, so much damage, but in the distance. Gets taken out by the teams that have them in their sight. Bobrex still in circle position. FC Destroy on the other side. Moist Esports taking a chunk out of the squad that had to rotate out from Alliance.
Moist has been a little bit quiet today so far, Vicky, in stark contrast to what we saw out of them yesterday. They looked like the best team in the lobby. Indeed, they were, but they are currently 23 points away from being match point. Now, if we have a look at this zone, damn, if I couldn't have called that any better. That is pixels away from the weather station I was talking about. Of course, that very small circle there to the left of Optic Gaming is where it will be ending up. Now, Pulverex have been eliminated. You can see some of the remnants of their amped cover still on that map feed there, but Fnatic have a lot of space to themselves.
Even more beautiful. Fnatic with the Crypto, the Bangalore, the Valkyrie composition. Playing this from the fence line. seeing if they can get the EMP for an engagement if a squad tries to contest them for this space, but I'm not expecting that to happen until this circle starts closing in, thinking about Optic gaining, holding the edge. FC Destroy that have not left their positioning this entire game. Closest team right now to match point in this lobby is KCP with 44 points.
All right, it's about to go down here on the south side. Vicky FaZe, TSM, Exit, and Pioneers all coming out of the building at the same time. Moisture on the west of this and should be able to pick up some free points here. They are going to look on with glee as Arcstar's ult nades, everything come out from these four teams.
Oh, TSM reps getting double knock, taking out FaZe alongside Imperial Hal. The black hole gets called in. He's trying to dance around. He's forced to go into the circle. The gravity lift to take him up. He's taking so much damage off the health alone. Can't walk behind him, but you can't get out of the line of sight.
Anyone feel like a game 6? We're going again here. FC Destroy are the ones who come out of that alive. Moist also do very well.
意外と40分早っ。ちょうど1000パック終わって脂っこすぎる。
Apex! What up? To everybody just joining us, welcome to Birmingham. We're excited to be here. We're excited to have you for what's going to be the greatest Apex tournament in the history of the game. My name is We the People. You can call me Thieves. For 5 straight days, we have 40 of the greatest teams in the world, 120 of the best players from around the world, all fighting for their share of $2 million. All right? So crowd, make some noise because we're live from Resorts World Arena in Birmingham, UK, and this is the Apex Legends Championship. Let's go!
いつ行くかさすがにこんなのぶとい声してないから。
Thank you so much, We the People. He's been doing great all day long. For those just joining us from North America, maybe waking up at a decent time, unlike my parents, who woke up at an ungodly time to support their son across the way. I will say, welcome to the championship. It is going to be one of the best 5 days. Storylines of plenty. Storylines coming into a collision course here. The TSM possibility of getting 2 out of 3 in a year. The back-to-back possibility of Dark Zero doing the unthinkable, a split 2 in a championship. Again, we will see if that unfolds. We'll see a little bit more about some of those teams here in our final set of the day. But of course, let me join you here on the desk. My name is Rene, and I've got 2 lovely men who didn't have to travel, well, one did, but one didn't too far, on outset, and Gaskin, onset, how you feeling, man? We're at the championship. This is what we work all year.
Yeah, 100%. I think you couldn't sum it up better, right? It's a great moment for us as commentators, analysts, but for the players, it's like you say, what a year's work comes down to. It's $2 million. It's a huge amount of money. It's the prestige of knowing that you are the Apex Legends Global Series champions. I mean, it's the biggest one of the year. It's a special feeling. Everyone who's here has been loud already, and it's only day number 1. We've got 5 days to get through here, so Lord knows what it's going to be like by Sunday.
Yeah, being in the building, it's a little different, Dan, but in terms of watching at home as well, when it comes to the best of the best Apex you can see, this is certainly it.
Yeah, this is the cream of the crop, right? This is the players who deserve it after year-long play, and now we get to see who can actually be the team, who can be the champions that just show up and be the best on that day. I am intrigued how you thought I was the only one who flew across the world. He was on the same plane as me from Texas. Well, are you forgetting this?
Yeah, sometimes I do not understand your schedules. You guys are in America more than I am, and somehow it doesn't make sense that you're back and forth as much as you are. But of course, for those who are joining us, not so much back and forth in terms of the way this tournament will run. If you've seen Split 1 or Split 2, it's essentially the same, although it is extended. So let's get into the format of how this is going to work. Today, we are starting one of 2 days of our first stage. We'll then transition later on into the week into our elimination bracket stage. And then we'll go, obviously, into our match point finals on September 10th. How we get the started, though, is we get every group going against each other. 10 teams per group. They will all battle it out to see who comes out on top in terms of points. That'll leave us a top 20 in terms of point totals and a bottom 20 that will be in the elimination round. That round will send 10 teams home and 10 teams to await elimination round 2, while the winners will send 10 teams to match point finals on Sunday and 10 teams to the elimination round 2. That's where we'll find our final teams to join us on Sunday for the most prestigious moment in Apex Legends history. And of course, you have to get past the threshold of 50 points and you must win or we go again. It all leads to an incredible story, an incredible moment, but more importantly, Mark, an incredible opportunity. No matter who you are, this prize pool of $2 million is going to change lives.
That is a huge amount of money to be winning. I mean, the pressure that comes on to hitting your shots when you know that the difference between first and second is nearly $300,000, right? It's a huge amount of money. And of course, over $500,000, $600,000 if you can lift that trophy. You ask the players what means more, the money or the trophy. Most to say the money, but I mean, the trophy, excuse me, some might say the money, but I think it's pretty close, to be honest with you.
Little Freudian slip there, most would say the money.
The truth comes out sometimes.
I certainly think, you know, they go hand in hand, right? If you're lifting the trophy, you're getting the money. But Dan, when it comes to participants in this tournament, it's been an entire year. It's run its course. We have now whittled down the best 40 teams to compete here. I want to take a look after we see this trophy at exactly who is joining us here in this tournament. Just give us a top-down view. Look at all the big names representing in Birmingham.
Well, I mean, you've got Dark Zero and you've got TSM, the 2 frontrunners in this tournament. The guys, the only 2 teams to lift trophies at LAN in the ALGS. So they are going to be the 2 big boys, the big hitters. Then you've got the outsiders, you've got the likes of Oxygen Esports who are coming up through the ranks. XSET, who have been able to dominate in certain tournaments. These are guys that could definitely turn up, maybe on the biggest stage, and surprise us, and surprise our only winner so far. NRG, they started today, very exciting for the fans of that team. So I think there are, you know, we've got 40 teams here, and I could genuinely say that I believe there are about 15 to 20 who could really believe themselves that they are champions. And then you've got the outsiders who, on a good day, probably could make it as well. I think that's what's amazing about ALGS and Apex in general, is they are the best teams in the world.
Well, let's take a look as you are joining us here in terms of what has happened over the last couple of sets. Mark, you've obviously been watching, you've had the privilege of casting as well. What's your takeaway from our first and second series of the day as we head to our third?
I think the thing that jumped out to me from the last series was 6 games, 6 different winners, right? And I think that really sums up how competitive these lobbies are going to be. A couple of highlight plays that stick out. That one at the start that we just saw of this highlights package. NRG as a duo winning the game. Gilderson and Sweet pulling off the 2v3 to win that game. A great confidence boost for them. But, I mean, the competition has been fierce so far. I think the lobbies have been extremely high quality. Not many contests going down. Everybody wants to play the long game. And I think when you're seeing end zones with, or should I say zone 3, zone 4 with 16, 17, 18 teams at some points. It means we've got some extremely high quality Apex Legends to watch.
It's about as good as it can get. Apex South notably stepping up in these last few games, Dan, and they have proven that not only in Apex North, but also Apex South, they are threats to potentially raise this trophy. And they cross the line.
Every region is showing what they're made of, and I think that's what makes it even more exciting, is perhaps one of the regions or some of the teams that have been slept on are suddenly now coming to life at the biggest tournament, and that's when you need to do it, and that's when you can make history and you can suddenly put your name in the biggest of history books alongside some of the greats.
Well, taking a look at the standings after 12 games played, you can see Dark Zero here with 59 points in terms of their performance. NRG 58, Blackhand as well. This is our previous series C and D. A and B also played earlier on, so in terms of overall totals, be aware that this may be combined with something else if these teams play again, and they will, certain of them, in just a little bit. So as it stands though, C and D will be taking at least a break. C and B will be playing more tomorrow. But look at this, overall, Dreamfire, this was the start of it, and Mark, what a performance. They went out to such a huge lead that even in Game 6, TSM were in the mix, LG were potentially in the mix, XF were potentially in the mix, but none of them could catch the point total Dreamfire had hit 78 after 6 games.
Yeah, they came out of the traps hot this morning. It really was notable how aggressive they were being, but also how well they navigated some of those end games. I think they came out of that first set with 2 wins on the board, which is always, you know, very, very impressive out of the 6 games. And it also, you saw the energy every single time that they won a game as well. That was very notable to me. It wasn't kind of like, hey, great, we won. It was like, let's go, the work has paid off. So I think that they're certainly a good team to keep an eye on as we work through the days.
Some of the most engaged fan bases that we've seen here in the Apex Legends scene as well. We talked to Roy, We the People, had a nice interview with him, and certainly expecting and would be extremely proud to head into the moment where they could raise that championship trophy on Sunday. But of course, they do have to get there. It would be a first for Dreamfire in that type of scenario. But fellas, as we transition and those watching at home into our final series of the day, it is A versus D. This has some notable big hitters as well. Some that have performed as we would have expected, Dan, maybe TSM, very, very strong performance. Some, not as much as we would have expected, maybe Oxygen, a team that placed 3rd in our previous split too, but haven't actually had that start that they would have expected. What are your thoughts here as we head into A and D in our final 6 games?
I think maybe TSM will have a point to prove in this one. Being topped by Dreamfire might be a little bit annoying for them because they could have seen that as a group with really picking up some big points, but they were still able to be consistent. I think that's what's important for TSM. As for Oxygen, I'm not particularly worried. They are a team who do seem to get better as the tournament goes on anyway. They're a great fighting team. If they can get involved in maybe a few engagements early on to build that confidence back up, I expect a resurgence from Oxygen Esports. The interesting one for me is how these two groups clash. This is one of my favorite things about this format, is we get to see A versus B, then C versus D, and then we start to combine them, and that's when you have to start to wrestle for some of those POIs that you might have had for free in the other groups, but not in this one.
Mark, who stands out to you?
I'm keeping my eyes on Moist Esports actually. They've been a little bit quiet so far today, and they're a team who I think have been, I think I said this when we were casting earlier, one of the most consistent at LAN out of all of the teams that we've seen, always making it to that finals, always getting into those final circles. And I think they had a little bit of a slow start this morning. Not quite sure what the reason was. Some of the zones seem fairly favorable to them, but we'll have to see how they bounce back. Sometimes the lobby just doesn't work out your way. They're going to have to learn to right the ship here in this group.
Well, I like to say championships have to be taken. They cannot be given. One of the players on this team that we're going to talk about actually has taken a championship already. That's Vayne, one of the only players in this building to know what it's like to be at the very top. Oxygen Esports has come in with family support. Mama Reeds, I met her downstairs at the merchandise booth, but also fan support as maybe an underdog that could do it all. Let's go ahead and take a look at what Oxygen are bringing to the table.
One of the best teams in the world has one of the most unconventional beginnings. Our story starts with Aiden and Reeds, 2 Apex competitors competing in arenas tournaments under the name Arena Demons.
So me and all my controller boys, we started hopping on arenas.
And had a lot of fun. Did like custom games where it was like, you know, just 6 pro players.
But eventually they set their sights on the ALGS. They needed a third to fit their playstyle, but also to overcome the experience gap they had at the time. And in steps former 2021 ALGS champion, Vayne.
Joining Aiden Reeds was very weird. It's definitely not like any team I've joined before. I don't think I was really worried much about their lack of experience, because I mean I had experience, so you know, one way or another we could work something out.
As a new team, they put the region on high alert in their first ever split, taking down G2, C9, and Sentinels on contest, while also reaching a draw with TSM and Lava Siphon. But they needed to work on their macro to truly challenge for a LAN spot.
During the first split, it was kind of, I mean, we're learning like little things, like we had a bit of macro, but it wasn't very good. Mainly it was just taking 3v3s, like just taking fights and winning them because we're really good at fighting.
And we had all this great team fighting, but at the end of the split, we started to realize very quickly that like, you know, this isn't going to work and we need to like be smart about what we're doing.
Pretty much didn't know how to play the game. Even though we, you know, did decent in Pro League, that was just purely off of like fighting.
Heading into Split 2, they added Thornton Smash, Psycho, SWL, and Muffin to their staff, and then Vayne swapped into being the IGL. All of this resulted in the team qualifying for their first ever LAN and getting signed to Oxygen Esports.
It was really nice, especially because we stuck it out as a team, qualified as a team.
The whole prior year I had before we qualified for LAN was probably my worst year competing, really in any game. I was definitely like getting close to that edge of like, you know, should I keep doing this?
I was just excited to like prove to everyone how good we are.
Many began to predict that Oxygen would be the dark horse team to try and dethrone Dark Zero or TSM. During the group stages, they showed they were up to the challenge, finishing inside the top 5 to head to winners. They continued with success with another top 5 finish to put them through to the finals lobby with advancement points. But now was the toughest test they would truly face, match point. And things didn't start off easy as Dark Zero and TSM raced out to match point eligibility in only 3 games. The pressure was on. Oxygen needed to pick up the pace in order to finish strong. But sometimes, pressure creates diamonds. Oxygen reached match point eligibility in game number 6. And in game 7, they had a chance to win as Vayne as a solo came so close to clutching out the victory. Although they didn't win, in their first LAN as a team, they proved to be one of the best teams in the world.
Like going into it, I just like knew we were gonna get top 5 for some reason. Like it's just like in my head, like I know we're gonna get top 5. We're way too good not to.
Doing that well on your first LAN is pretty crazy, to be honest.
And now that they've proven themselves, their ambitions are set on the Year 3 ALGS Championship trophy.
I think this tournament could really be anyone's game. There's been a lot of huge changes to competitive right now, and there hasn't been a whole lot of time to prep. So I think really anybody can win this LAN. I think we're feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, I think we have a really good chance. In BR, anything can happen. I feel like any of the top 5, 6 teams could make it. Like I think we have a really good shot. Yeah.
I think we definitely could. It's anyone's game, but I think we definitely have a high chance.
Near 16th place, yeah, everyone, I agree. Oxygen Esports, they've got a great story. They've got a lot of poise and they've got a lot of confidence, and those are things you all need to win a championship. But only 19 points coming into this second series of the day. Obviously a far cry away from 78, which won it. So Mark, thoughts on just the revelations of watching how Oxygen feels about their own play and maybe the expectations going into these last 6?
Firstly, shout out to Jayhawk for the commentary on that piece. Sounded absolutely great. I just wanted to kind of highlight the story, right? And I just feel like they're a team in this event that I can never count out. Like they will be in a position they find themselves in now, but I expect them to be in a finals lobby. And I just think their trajectory has been consistently upwards ever since they came together as a team. They've stuck together, they've been through some highs, some lows, but it's been a constant learning process. And if the last event was anything to go by, you have to count them as maybe a team that could be lifting that trophy when it gets to Sunday. It's obviously a big ask for anybody, but you see there's this quiet confidence about them, right? They just seem to get better and better. The more they learn, the more they play, they seem to just find this like magic when it matters. And I mean, we talked about how close Vayne was to winning that game. I mean, what a turnaround that would have been if Vayne would have been, as a solo, able to clutch out those final moments on the Sunday at Split 2. If he can do it this time, maybe we'll have another chance and maybe it'll look different.
I kind of almost hearken it to maybe the surprise when Dark Zero initially won, and I think people were stunned that they won again at championships after it feeling like, okay, that had to just maybe be a one-off here. No, they really are that good. Oxygen winning maybe in Split 2 might have been too good of a story for people to even accept at that point. Now though, Dan, is the community, is the Apex world ready to see Oxygen be the best team in the world?
Some of the community is. There's a lot of the community who aren't, because we know who they're behind. But yes, I would say Oxygen are one of maybe 3 teams that are outside of TSM and Dark Zero that are seen as genuine competitors by TSM and Dark Zero. I would say there are big 5 heavy hitters in the tournament. Oxygen 100% one of those. My worry is if you haven't won one yet, what happens when you do get to match point multiple times and then you see the likes of TSM and Dark Zero also reach it? Does the pressure then get to you a little bit too much? But at least they've been there once, they felt that feeling, and you'd like to think they could build from that here in the championships.
I almost think going into that moment, failing a little bit, and then having the month and a half that we've had to get to this point to rewatch, to understand how that didn't work out, things that maybe need to change for the next time. Even the mental game that has to adjust to say that maybe one of us was there, but 2 of us really should have been there if we were really on top of it. Mark, when you look at these intangibles that maybe Oxygen are bringing, or let's open it up now, not just to Oxygen, but we've talked APAC. APAC North were on the door last time. APAC South performing extremely well here in Dreamfire. How do you feel just the rest of the world is coming into championships and their willingness to almost steal this? It has just been TSM and Dark Zero. Can they steal this?
I think there's one thing that I always say when I'm talking to anyone about video games, and you cannot recreate the pressure and the feeling unless you're on that main stage in that situation. And sometimes you have to lose, sometimes you have to make the wrong play, sometimes you have to find yourself being disappointed and coming away thinking, I could have done that differently, to learn what it feels like and to be able to come back the next time and not make those same mistakes. And I think that's a testament sometimes to the teams who have been so consistent, who have won the trophies, right? They've been in those situations before. They've failed a couple of times, but also they've won. And then they know how it is in those situations, what you have to do in those situations to perform, hold your nerve, and play like you are playing at home. And it's impossible to recreate. It's as simple as that. You cannot recreate that pressure unless you are there in that moment. And I know that Jayhawk said that, pressure make diamonds. Well, maybe this is Oxygen's turn.
Certainly shining so far in our Apex scene. We'll see if they continue to do so in 6, because we are about to get these games underway, ladies and gentlemen. However, I do want to start, or at least finish, with our talent predictions. As we've talked about it, we had to give our thoughts on who would take it. I'm going back to TSM in Group A. I think they are going to get it. They were 1 point away. Excuse me. They were 2 points out of 20 points away from Group 1, but they were 2nd place overall. But a lot of things, Dan, across the board, a lot of Moist Esports support, as well as Fnatic and Go Next. I want to talk to yours, but this Moist pick seems to be very popular amongst our crew.
I mean, unsurprising, Genome's gone there, but I mean, I guess Vicky and Glare, if they want to follow suit, that's absolutely fine. Support Genome's region. I will say one thing, we're not seeing any confirmation of results. How did people do last time with their predictions, Rain Day? That's what I want to know.
I got a tweet. I'm just saying, competitive APAC, he tweeted me, he said that me and Tiff and Vicky were in the lead, so,
How? Have you got 2 out of 2?
I've got pretty close.
Incorrect.
Almost.
You've only got 1 out of 2. So have I. So you're not in the lead. You're lying to yourself. I've gone for TSM, though, Rain Day. I saw everyone else was going for TSM again, and Oxygen and Moist, the big hitters, and I thought I'll go for an outsider. A little bit of an off pick. Try and surprise you, catch you off guard. How do you feel about it?
You have caught me off guard, especially since you lied about you being tied with me, considering that I don't think your team scored higher than TSM in the first stage.
It was just about predicting.
If it's a draw, then the tie would go to the runner, as we have been talking about sprinting races here, which Dan and I have done. We might do one, for some extra content. Mark, you went Oxygen, though, and I don't think we knew this heading into this segment. You believe they're going to win right now.
I was influenced by the Oxygen propaganda that we just watched.
Did you change it just now?
We did this beforehand, obviously, but I just believe in Oxygen. I just love, like I mentioned previously, their trajectory as a team. And I really feel like if they get some good zones, especially on Storm Point, if they get some barometer zones, then they are so good at converting that other pros saying if it's a barometer zone and Oxygen are in the lobby, they're probably going to win it. Yeah. So I just think that they've got that consistency factor. I want to see them maybe perform a little bit better on World's Edge, because Storm Point seems to be their bread and butter where they pick up their points. But I don't know, man. I've gone kind of with the favorites because I'm usually at the bottom of the predictions, and we all know that. So I've kind of hedged my bets on some of the big boys this time around.
One thing I really love is that there are so many teams here. When you really talk about predictions, you can really only kind of laugh at it for a moment. I mean, we do take it seriously as much as we can, but you just have no idea. So many teams have shown up here, and at the moment's notice can perform better than we've ever seen them. That's what championships are all about. It's your time to stake your claim, to make your presence felt throughout the world so that people know exactly what you mean. And hopefully you mean business. I want to let you guys know as well, we have a brand new award that we are going to be giving away on Sunday, and it is our Positive Play Award. That's right, the votes are in. They have already been tallied, and it supports, for the first time, Electronic Arts highlighting a player in the community of Apex Legends, the chosen game this year, who has been one of those outstanding members, who has really shown support, who has shown a positive presence within their ecosystem of the game, and obviously feels like they represent what it means to be a positive player. Those results will be announced on September 10th, Sunday, our championship day. All right, we're going to go quickly to a break. When we come back, we have more gameplay, our final 6 games of day number 1 here in Birmingham. The championships are underway, so don't go anywhere.
え、リドル20位。やってんね。セッチの微妙。ミックマークス出す。ゼロ。やば。こんなんみんなやる
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Resorts World Arena in Birmingham. We've got the best fans. And you know why? Because it's still midweek, and they're here from the beginning of the day, right when it opened, all the way to the end, with our final 6 games coming on your screen shortly. We are here in the booth up on top at the caster desk, and the analyst desk. And one of my favorite things about this is sometimes, yes, we do have to juggle a few things. They are coordinating and getting this game underway shortly, so we appreciate your patience and hanging with us. But for the meantime, we do have a little bit more of an opportunity to dive into a few of the stories while we patiently wait. And trust me, we'll get you to those games as soon as possible. As you see the players as well, it's just something special, guys. Walking into this venue, seeing these familiar faces, I think there is just a little bit of magic when you finally put the screen name or the experience that you've had hours online into actually seeing some of these pros in real life, giving them a hug, talking about their experience, seeing their family.
Hey, full season of LANs, it's just felt different, hasn't it? It feels like we've seen these players perform on the main stage more than we have since the start of Apex Legends. It's been wonderful to put the names to faces, like we're saying, the ones that we've been casting over for so long now, and we are seeing that consistent competition. We are seeing the fan bases really get behind their teams as well, with the opportunity to come out and support their teams. And speaking of which, speaking of fan bases, speaking of people getting loud, well, there's a group in the crowd right now certainly getting behind their team.
MDY White, they never cease to amaze me. Shout out to the MDY White fans who are continually here in front, as well as Dreamfire, who are just phenomenal. It really does give you an opportunity to see how far you can take support, and I'm sure that's what people love about esports as well. I do want to kind of dive, though, as we have a chance, guys, into one of the bigger topics on what people are playing. Many of you who have watched Split 2 notice that if you've watched any of the games today, there's a familiar character who is not in almost any of our lineups, and that, of course, is Seer. It's been a year of this character dominating high-level play. Truly a year of Seer, as I'm calling it. And Mark, it has just faded away with this final patch. It seems it has finally done it, and the pros have said, not anymore, we are shifting up.
Yeah, I think one of my personal feelings, this is, my opinion on Seer, I've never enjoyed it when people almost get too much information for free without having to take a risk to gain the information, right? And we have seen the adjustments to Seer, and I think that now it's not as viable. You don't get as much of that information as you would previously, so people are having to mix up their compositions a little bit. We also have some meta changes and other things with other characters that play into that, but I think the pick rate dropping from, I think it was near 100% at the Split 2 playoffs to, I think nobody picked it. When we had FaZe. FaZe was about one Seer. Yeah. And I mean, that fall off is quite something, but what it does mean is when we're getting down to those end circles, when we're getting down to Zone 3, Zone 4, the pressure on IGLs to make plays, to gather information, to kind of establish what the lay of the land is, you have to work so hard for it, and it really is putting you under the microscope. And that's why I think we're starting to see a little bit of a separation of teams being consistent at the top, because we've always talked about the best teams in the world will have the best leaders, the ones who can navigate them through traffic, who can kind of pick what fight is about to go down, and that they can get involved with it to clear some space. And I think you're going to see that as we go through the days as well, as the pressure ramps up as well. Information is no longer free for these players. Information is no longer free for the IGLs. You have to work so hard for it, and I think it's going to give us some of the best Apex we've seen in some time.
It does tend to change things, and that's what we're seeing live right now. So as these days develop, you will probably see more and more meta adjustments continually. But one thing we want to talk about, too, is how these teams not only play during the day, but also how they set up where they'll be landing and dropping. It's one of the things that separates casual play and maybe you logging in at home in Apex to what we see these pros deal with, because they are all selected, they are all predetermined, they minimize that RNG, but sometimes, Dan, that still doesn't mean they have the ability to avoid somebody else trying to take their spot.
Who'd have thought? Kick contesting again, as they've been unfortunately dominated all day, and it's not going to get much better for you. You've got TSM down at Lava Siphon, which, if I'm Kick, I'm probably getting out of there. Maybe they can ruin TSM days a little bit by slowing their rotation, but I'm still, I'm stretching there, just trying to make something work. Yes, there's not much space elsewhere on the map, but if I'm Kick, I'm probably trying to find something. Optic against FC Destroy down towards Stacks. Yes, okay, you've got Big Maud there as well you can work with. They can probably split it a little bit, but I think there could be some early fights happening. And then when we get over to Stormpoint, you've still got more contests happening as well. Onyx Esports going to go up against Kick, so their day doesn't get any better. MDY White against J-Lings here on World's Edge. Maybe they'll share it. You've got Monument, you've got Fragment, but again, they could start to get a little bit dicey if they want to try and maybe get aggressive and try and take the other one out so they can get double the loot.
We'll say as well, just looking at Overlook, you see Sentinels versus Moist. That's been going down for some time. I think Sentinels have actually given that one up over time. So Moist should have that POI to themselves. But we also have seen, people coming back for a little bit of revenge. We saw a certain Dark Zero getting a little bit tasty earlier when we saw the contest going down over at Lava Siphon and realizing there was some free KP available. So don't write anything off for now, is all I'll say. You never know what could happen when we see those drops.
Yeah, I will say, guys, it's been funny, and I have to mention this anecdote. I was working out in the gym earlier, and Vainglorioso from Kick came up to me, and he ended up saying that, listen, if we can't contest TSM in terms of the game, at least I'll be buff enough to intimidate.
Go the other side. I'm
喋ってる場合
going
ちゃう
I'm
か
going mid, okay? Go the other side.
急にあれ
Be on the door.
Weapon. I'm going weapon.
Wow, wow, wow.
Beat me inside.
Wow, wow.
I need help inside.
I don't have a gun.
I
I
got a
don't have a
PK.
gun.
Okay, let's go to
Help me,
mid.
help me, help me, help me, help me.
負けるぞこれ
He spotted mid by himself. He spotted mid by himself. This guy's looking by himself right here. Looking. He's right here by himself.
I'm going right
どん
side.
な相手はあ
I need help, I need help.
るまずい絶対に負けるこんなの
One shot at him. Look over me. Evan, look over me. Yeah, play slow. He's on above Evan, above Evan. He's got a havoc.
おうおう
There's
お
one
う
guy. It's one guy. It's
エヴァン
one
ク
guy.
ラッチ
Play slow.
エヴァン無双ですかい
Nice. I got it. These two 30
What?
I'll help you.
Fucking B7.
だえ
Let's fucking go, bro. Good shit.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
別地に死んでね
Worry about the game.
どういうことなんでできるやん
Bro,
Yeah,
launch
back in the
site, launch site killed 2 of them from with the fucking charge rifle.
発射からカバーしてくれたの
Oh, I
熱っ
thought you went crazy, bro.
Yeah.
風吹いとるやん PSM にてかセンチネルズ全然違うところでるしフラグメントじゃなくスカイ
Oh my gosh.
Hold hemlock?
Yeah.
Did you have a sight before or no?
おおま
No, I didn't. I cropped
Iron
that
sights
sight.
to 3x. Are we going to harvest
ル
or
ーがめっ
landslide?
ちゃ熱いカバー
Ready to go
してく
whenever.
れてるやん
I'm ready to go whenever as well. I just don't have much.
I'm
do you want
coming across.
to do you want to evac over, Dupe, or do you want to?
Yeah. Let's evac over.
Can I put someone crafter real quick? Yeah. Go now, right now.
Yeah, go
Mats
now.
and shit. I'm just throwing out a backpack so I can pick up shit on the way, and then I'm evac over.
The reps had this high ground. He was one, but Verhos had the PK, and when I saw that he had the PK in his hands, it's scary. FC Destroy already running away too from a fight.
There was, of course, another contest happening while we saw the action go down there at Lava Siphon. Jailings. Sorry, no, that was sorry. I'm in last playoffs already. It was in fact Sentinels who have been contesting Overlook with Moist. They took them on there. They'd actually been losing a lot in scrim. Said that they were going to give it up, but I don't know, had a last bit of change of heart. They've decided to go there again, but they have been punished for it. Moist come out on top here.
Already making the rotation right now, going from Overlook where they had the survey beacon and the ring console to now move towards Fragment. Moist seeing the next set of information on where that ring is going to be pulling. Pioneers obviously landing over by that Fragment side and actually had already made that rotation as quickly as they can. Go next to the south side of Fragment as we see more of these teams waste no time in rotation.
Share if you had a sight. Guys got 4 cells. Monument is fighting, so yeah, it's gonna be a little shambles.
No, I don't think anyone's close building. Pills are unlooted. Sliding down.
Yeah. Set it up. There's some good loot here too. Free blue, W.
There's that car.
Car SMG here.
This is all unlooted. We might stretch purple shock and bolt upstairs.
Are we trying to get deeper or what? Are we playing here?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at getting deeper here. What are we thinking? Do we see anything here?
I'm finessing this assault bin real quick.
Can we take left? Can we maybe take this building?
Going left with these feet.
That'd be fucking nice. See if we can get this building. Let's focus on getting the building and then spreading out and looting a little more. I'll be able to hear if anyone's here. There's no one home. Okay.
This is a good crafter too, but
this is a good building. Yeah. This is a good building to be like game to be one. Alright, gotta see the force of my scout.
What doors should I have reinforced?
I don't know. Smoke right here. Anybody here? Over here, Maggie balling on top of us.
Okay.
Maggie's one. I hit him 127 on white. Nate, let's swing this. We definitely
Bottom floor of the building. Bottom floor of the other building. Bottom floor. I just got shot in my fucking back. I'm cracked.
Okay.
This show maybe? I just got fucking cracked.
Guy on this building. I'm giving it up. It's too risky, Stella. I hear people in monument too at the zip thing too. Yep. We can't risk it.
This door is not ours.
Yeah, it's not. I have both of my reinforcements in the bottom doors here. Peek in the window there. Let up. Main shot this side. Be careful of this window. It's like really bad. Our peek is. Yeah, we don't really play this building very often. Let's kind of put together.
How did I just die through the door?
Okay, let's go.
I just died from green.
I'm going.
The horizon opening my door. I'm probably just like. How
No,
did
it's
I
fine.
just...
Catwall that door. Catwall the door. Yep, I am. I'm gonna throw one nade. I'm gonna throw a khaki one. All day, I'm breaking hard. Okay, fine. They're not crossing. They're holding. I can rest. I'm reinforcing the door. Fine. They're not pushing. Seal up. We need to slow down here. Not gonna lie, this building is kind of fucking ass.
Yeah.
There's so many windows. Let's check bottom floor here. Bottom floor is definitely where we want to be, though. It's really good here. 2 doors. Right, I'm gonna reinforce both the doors. Bottom floor. Okay. Learning. My door just got Maggie too. Yeah, that's fine. That's the team in the 2-story building. That's okay. Hey, but it didn't break my door. This game's ass.
Yeah, this building. I'm looking at the layout of this shit. This building is fucking horrible.
This one over here is a little bit better, just cause. But the window to the left.
Backpack here, level 3.
Koi furu shiten atsu. Koi furu.
I actually don't see anything on one side.
Okay, I'm coming. Did you throw bats on?
I can only craft the bag and a bat. Only one bat.
Okay. I only have 15 crafting left, so.
Wait, he's ratting in this corner.
Enemy,
he's literally standing.
Skyhook with Aurora.
My sincere apologies.
Just watching this front side. I can't.
I'm gonna come smoke it. I'm not watching Skyhook anymore.
Yeah, I can't. I'm watching this west side now.
Alright, do you guys want to try to work that team in tunnel? The one that's ratting?
I don't have a lot of heavy. Do you guys have a lot of heavy?
I have 170 for Hemlock.
Need some heavy
Is he
ammo,
still
dears.
sitting in that same corner?
Let me check. No, he's not. I don't see him.
Was it a Gibby?
No, I think it was a Horizon.
Disruptor.
You want me to drop you heavy? I have 170 for Hemlock.
Yeah, drop me some.
There's 11 here. I'm gonna drop more.
Here.
I'm good. He's right here.
Hostile over there.
He might just beat
Whole
us
team,
by.
that's a whole team. They're gonna go for Beacon. I'm hiding. They didn't go for it. They're like on Crafter. They're just running around here. In the open, all 3.
It's Horizon Cat.
I sense an enemy out there. With my eyes.
One zipped up height.
Yeah, this is just done now.
Backing up. To work our choke. We can play here.
Let's head that way.
Let's go fast.
We have 1 balloon.
Close on me, close right.
Whoa.
Nice. Place up. They're gonna run for Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wall the right. I'm gonna wall the right. Yeah. Nothing Newcastle. Yeah, I'm walking up right. Yeah. I'm arcing the wall, Jordan. 55. I know the back. I'm going back. I'm running away. Go to the green building. Green is open, Evan. Yep.
Wow.
Can you run? Yep, I'm right behind you. Bro. Just go to green. You could maybe. They might fight. They might fight again.
You can grab banner.
Maybe Evan should secure green. No, they haven't fought yet. We might just go back to green, I think. I think we just play duo. Go green.
That is fucked, man.
I have no nades. Bro, they were just like... No nades either. Newcastle, I think, just got down over there. Running at me! Dead!
Nice.
Wait, someone's underneath us! Where?
That's why I thought
Dead. I'm popping a Phoenix. I'm looking to loot this guy.
男の打ち返し。菅ハンマードリル。
I don't think you can grab
I
it.
can't loot this. Hold on a sec. Stop. From the fucking zipline building, bro. Yep. I don't know if I can loot this because I did. Just come back. Don't fucking risk it. I got 2 kills. Oh, we got 2 kills out of it. Yep. There's a body over here too, but.
This way.
Do you have a syringe? Yeah, nope.
By the way, it's optic on that south side.
Okay.
You guys can do really good from this spot.
Yeah, we're fine.
Need light, I have 180.
That cart is still open on your west.
111.
Season.
Yeah, we can go to the cart early, but we don't have bank smokes. That's the thing.
I think the charge rifle in zip building, streamer.
Yeah, I said that. Yes, okay, it's ending the way we thought it was.
Get it? You might want to get the cart.
Yeah, but it's risky. Like, imagine just getting angled out.
I feel like you can wall. Like,
Look at my was gonna die just trying to cross through it even.
No, I don't think we'll die crossing to it. You have cat wall?
Yeah, I do. Might affect his body again.
Might get angled, but I definitely think.
Gold R9, I'm grabbing it. I dropped the purple mag R9 on that.
Okay.
You'll just probably get more.
I hear somebody close.
Okay.
We should go cart, but I think it's risky.
Someone's in our apartments.
Care package over there.
People in here, I think. Can't be there. Did you have syringe off that?
Nope. I can go grab one.
No, it's fine. I'll just have to make it.
I'm carrying our back right now.
They stand here. Lots of teams flying in front of me. Once you landed here, both RBs.
We're coming over, should be good.
Opportunity qualifying after this LCQ. Sweet in the feed, gonna be able to get that knock onto Elysium with the Arc Star. Just jumps into the thermite real quick, but it's to fully find out where that last straggler is trying to run from. Singularity get cleaned up by Nasky, and the charge rifle that we saw get reworked going into this season. The pings are coming in. Minya is in a lot of trouble though, gets pinged from both angles. Another team on the other side, that may be Onyx Esports from inside the building. MDYY, bit of trouble while they try to run away. That's Iron Blood Gaming searching for some blood.
MDYY may have got a couple kills up the top there, but that's going to be the end of their run for this game. IBG holding them out. There's another team right on top of them here in this building. I think they've just maybe only realized it was the Sentinels rat. There goes Denial, and now they worry about Onyx, who stand between them and the circle. Again, it's one of those very strange circles where no one actually wants to play within it until they absolutely have to. There's just almost no cover in the middle now, and so you see teams crowding the outside, just sort of, you know, waiting for someone to cut the ribbon, and they all rush in at the same time.
It's one of those circles that we mentioned before. Depending on where it could pull, it could just be out in the open, where the only natural cover you really have is the low to high ground disparity. Those 30-30 shots ringing through the air.
We might be better off playing small and then bang them off us.
I have 2 nades.
Maybe I don't play forward. It's just if we start getting shot, we need to smoke and like look to make
I'm gonna smoke right here, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna wall off our back.
Near me.
Where's that from? That's from our
I'm
back.
gonna smoke here actually, so that team's
Enemy
shooting.
in sight.
That's from over there. 10 seconds. Are they back on him?
No, it's not that.
I haven't seen the team zipline building at all.
I think they left. They had to have.
They're looking at us from over here, I think.
Okay.
Let's head in that direction, darlings.
I'm gonna have to wall that card up, I think. Crossing D first, actually. Wall this way.
We're fucking dead, I think.
Then
We're
we'll
gonna go left.
wall.
We just gotta play slow here.
You might
go to.
Remember, we can go to the lava and then queue up, I think, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Lava would be the play, yeah. You can live in the lava.
They also might fight in the left, but.
They're kind of fighting. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting.
We'll also go down in like 15 seconds.
Okay. You ready to follow?
Yeah.
Follow me. Wait, there's a team here.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
Boys, we can't fight that Newcastle team. We're back in the team clear yet. No, Jordan's fucking trolling with his fucking view though. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, we don't need to fight them. Call for your rinse. Audio. Hey. Bro, who's on audio? Go back. No. We might need to go across this corner. Place wall. I can walk to it. No, it's not in. Play slow. They should go back. I can give you another one.
You guys should have just gone to
but they can always zone wrap though, that's the thing. Like the issue with that, like watching our back is it's all in the zone. We would have to like tank the zone to shoot them from like going up the hill, you know what I'm saying? Like they can always just zone wrap and we can't really stop them because we have to be sitting in the gas.
We'd have to wait for like zone 3 close.
We have to like AFK in the zone to shoot them. Like that's like that was the issue watching our back. No, I mean it's still better to wait until they have to zone wrap than wrapping when zone wrapping is like people don't zone wrap anymore. They just don't.
Obviously, probably would have just gone Harvest's side.
Yeah. People really aren't zone wrapping at all. Like, yeah, and also like that. Yeah, you just
yeah.
Can we go down? I'm crashing now. Bang hold it. There's still a time horizon on them, I think. I'm ulting them. No, it bounced off you. Look forward.
50, crack.
50. The 30 flash. Okay, chill.
We can play on me.
Really behind us. Play fasty. I'm dead. They're all in your hands. Play side. They have the whole zone, guys. They're jumping on you. Swing left. Fight them. Fight this.
No.
Cracks, almost.
Play off. Play live. That's before.
Not only just that, you also saw the mistake on the black hole. You heard the oh no going into the calm. It happens to, it happens to sometimes. That's the experience, and it was an unfortunate mistake because they wanted to dive in that fight. Now IBG coming off of their win in game number 6 in Group C and D, trying to ride that momentum right now, but Zicky looks like they're in some trouble. The headlock shots are gonna do it in. Manigu coming in instead, gets the res, but can there be enough time before Disguise comes in?
Surely not. Disguise rolling up now, are not able to make use of that res, and now Nuku just has to try and hold out behind these knockdown shields. Can't do it at all. Let's get a doof in the crowd.
Oh, cheers to the crowd, the applause. It was just a matter of time, Genome. It was just a matter of time before Disguise came in. With the patience, but we have to tell it as it is, that circle was incredibly chaotic for the teams that had to exit out of Monument. And Disguise did a very good job at making their rotation and being able to get there all the way from the south side of World's Edge.
Yeah, going up from launch side there is tough, right? Not only are you far away, but you're a couple of rough chokes away from there as well. But I think the way it kind of worked out is a lot of teams really clustered into Monument and Fragment, and so the teams that were sort of just holding the southern side of that zone, they actually didn't have too many other teams to compete with, to contest with until the later stages of the game. So as you said, it was really that shove out, the one we saw TSM go down, Moist and Go Next were some of the only teams who made it on that sort of eastern seaboard.
It's a good point too, because Disguise had taken their time as well, rotating in there and finishing off with 10 KP, 2,500 damage out there too on top of the dub. That is huge, especially when it comes to that first game on World's Edge. They want to play to their strengths. This is definitely a team that when I look at them on World's Edge, I see more confidence compared to what we usually see on Stormpoint.
Especially as the first game of the series, right? We'll take a look at the final circle now, but it just gives you so much confidence going into the rest of it. You can kind of loosen up a bit, right? Like, we talk about needing, say, roughly 33 points in each series to get yourself going forward. And if they've done most of that in game 1, you can really just loosen up a bit and have some fun with the rest of the series. Takes a lot of the pressure off for you. So here we're having a look at that final endgame here for Disguise. They do get the reset. Luckily, they've got this nice little cliff there to play from, where they're really just they're separated from the rest of the teams.
Cleaned up the last member of Moist before having the opportunity to close in on the fight that was happening right in front of them, and it was just a cleanup. It was the timing, too, for them to get the remaining members here in this game. Let's also not ignore the fact that when they were previously playing in Group A and B, I believe they had finished in 14th, and something that came to mind as we currently see the Match 1 results. IBG, the team that won Game 6 in the previous group that we just saw, their hands are warm. They are ready to go, and they took that Game 6 with 12 KP and rode on that momentum going into this first game for Group Stage A and D. So finishing off in that second place with 9 KP, also fantastic to make sure the gap isn't too far ahead in this first game.
Yeah, and just to touch on this for people who aren't familiar with the Apex South scene, I suppose, this is a very different Iron Blood Gaming roster than we saw earlier in the year. This isn't the roster that came first in Apex South in Split 1. They essentially picked up the Inside the Ring roster, which has been a very long-standing team in the region. Quite a few veterans on that team, so fantastic to see some of them get some land play.
Surprising on the other side here, NRG, the team that I believe had gotten second in that previous group that we also were able to watch, not going to be able to really come far, but we're able to get 6 KP. They're getting the kills, but the placement, unfortunately, does not reward them. Same could be said about MDY White. We saw how strong they started off that game from the very beginning, getting 3 KP by the time that the second ring was closing.
Still a bunch of, definitely some KP down the bottom there, and it feels like our better teams out of these groups in the group stage, Vicky, even if they're not bringing in the placement points, even if they're not having the greatest of games, they're usually still picking up a fight win or two and just ticking along with, the 6, the 9 points.
I love looking at the Disguise squad. I love being able to see the fans live in the crowd, giving their energy to the team that they want to win. Shout out to you guys out here. And with game number 1 in the books, we're going to be going to a break. On the other side, we got game number 2 on World's Edge. You don't want to miss it.
WD Black, the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Welcome back, everybody. Game number 1 in the books, and it goes in favor to Disguise, finishing off game number 1 with not just the double, with 10 KP to their name. Overall, though, that top 3 overall match was incredibly close with so many of our teams that ended up in a very chaotic circle on top of those train tracks, on top of the fact that a lot of teams were congregated in Monument, having to exit out from that slight low ground when there were teams waiting for them on that high ground on top of that hill.
Yeah, and Disguise, they weren't in the top 20
after all of our teams have played their first group stage match. So 22 points, I believe it was there in that first game, is going to go a long way to making those guys feel a little more comfortable here at LAN. As we said, it's been a while for some of them, since Poland for some of them.
Welcome back to competitive Apex here in LAN. It's a different experience, but now you get to enjoy it, reap the benefits. This is also a team that I feel like individually the players benefit off of momentum. I mean, you could say that about basically any team, but specifically the mentality of it is incredibly important. And when you take a look at the time difference, the amount of hours that our Group A hasn't played versus what we are currently witnessing from our Group D, they just finished playing in the Groups C and D. And so they're pretty warmed up going into this lobby. Our Group A, not so much. They played about like 4 or 5 hours ago and now getting re-warmed up all over again. That includes Disguise. IBG, another team, struggling a little bit at the very beginning, taking that dub in that final game within their own respective group in that previous lobby that we had seen. And this is also two teams that I feel like IBG does a really good job on Storm Point. So having a very good game on World's Edge will also benefit this team. Disguised, on the other hand, this is a team that I feel like excels even more on World's Edge. So this is where you want to take that advantage, run through with it. We saw some early contests going down as well, some early 50-50s. Match number 2 is coming up shortly, and we are going right back to World's Edge.
So as you said, launch site down there that Disguise was starting at, that's quite some way away. Maybe they'll get a more southerly pull this time to help them out. We will, of course, be keeping a keen eye on those contests once again. TSM coming back from being behind at the start of game 1, and it was J-Links who went down to MDY White over at Epicenter. So look, I don't know, we could honestly go either way with the contest this time, and hopefully we will be catching the action of one of those two. But yeah, look, TSM and Kick really struggling across the entire group stage so far, because they have decided, like, they're the ones who chose violence, right? Like, they have decided to contest someone on basically every map and every group that they're playing in. That's kind of tough.
At least for Kick. At least for Kick, it definitely brings a tear to my eye to see the experience. But that is their decision, and when you try to contest a team like TSM, you're going to be inevitably met with that contention, with that challenge. I mean, you've seen it on social media, the way that Imperial has posted, all right, Kick, go back. And I mean, that's the nicest way I could put it here.
Yeah, I mean, they have mirrored the compositions on Kick and TSM right now, both choosing Fuse, an incredibly good character in those contests. And yeah, I mean, you can see why, right? It's a legend that we actually saw a little bit before it was in the meta at all, just purely for contests, but now it's kind of creeping into both. And it's like, okay, well, we'll take it as a contest pick, but we're actually not that mad about it on World's Edge overall either.
And you also think about...
Not gonna lie.
Okay, I'm gonna go bottom mid.
Close spin.
I got a gun.
They might push right away, okay?
Yeah, I got a gun. I'm on the peak middle.
I got a gun too, I got a gun too.
I'm queuing up.
Horizon weak, Horizon dead.
Nice, pushing over on the side. I'm gonna shoot
On me. I'm gonna shoot.
I got attacked, right?
I'm coming up to you.
I've got two.
Dead. On himself. Bruh.
How'd you kill that guy right away?
He's just not looking. I just peeked the door and he's not even looking at me.
Good shit, boys. Good shit. Alright, focus. Go north. I'll go south.
I'm going north. Taking gondola north.
Be careful of someone maybe like late landing in somewhere.
Yep.
Hit the beacon.
I will. I gotta heal. I got no cells left. Should be fine though. R9.
R99 here.
30.
Deb's daughter. 30-30 repeater here.
Hemlock.
Hemlock here.
I got a hemlock. I need a fucking light mag.
I'm gonna grab this assault into my east.
Evac.
Evac tower here.
I need a backpack. I don't have a bag yet.
Actually, no, it's on Logan. I can't.
I got an evac.
Fucking trolled.
That allowed Optic to then move in behind TSM, not only engage in their fight, but then deal with FC Destroy in the long term. So they're taking things into their own hands here, and even with that attempt, you see the trade-off from both sides. Optic lose out on Skittle. On the other side, Hammer Drill goes down here. Playing off the side, though, means that they also have that Newcastle Watson comp that they could just bunker down in if they so decide to do it.
Oh, they can't give them time. Two of them are so low right now. It's a 2v3 with Optic versus FC Destroy now. But if they give them time to use their meds and get back up, Optic surely will go down. They're trying to get the res off on Skittle Cakes right now, and they do actually get him back up.
So many of these individual fights happening right now. Next choke point that we're currently seeing right here on Onyx Esports while tuning right back into Big Mod. Will the engagement happen? Hammer Drill may go down again. Literally one here. Skittle Cake was not able to get res. Hugging the door, trying to block it off. Sends out that smoke nade drop, having to drop around the side, take the zip line. Nice shoulder to shoulder situation here for Optic Gaming, but playing this cathartic.
This has been quite an elongated fight here, and this is usually the time where you'd be like, all right, tap the watch, time's up, boys. There's going to be a third party coming in, but luckily the ring is so far away, and the only team that would be anywhere near Disguised, they split landed in launch site and dome, and they've gone over to go craft by the looks of it in tree. So, you know, they're busy just like playing their little edge style here, and luckily for Optic and FC Destroy, they get left in the 3v3 TDM.
They can deal with this, and while the circle is closing, the winner of this fight will also be able to walk away with a survey beacon in Big Mod. So that's something to know, as well as the great loot. But Optic Gaming don't like how long this fight has been taking, and has already gone ahead to start rotating to the north side towards Geyser. So unfortunately, counting their losses, as it doesn't look like they were able to res that third, so having to play this out as a duo, wondering if they were able to get the banner at the very least, and maybe get the res over by Geyser.
Yeah, the beacon's there. I'm not sure if they did manage to grab that banner in the end, and I don't believe they're playing a support character either, so that won't help them, even though the crafter is up and running over at Geyser. Here we get a look at the circle now, and as you can see,
I'm 30-30 with no sight. I'm sitting in the truck. I really don't want people to know that I'm in here with the white, because we do not want to be holding this truck at all. If we have to, we need to just bust out with Bangle, queue up in the air, and just fucking run out of team.
Kill a team in there.
You guys need to craft?
Nope. I mean, I have 2 bats, 16 cells.
We should just keep going. I think we should look for the spot.
Yeah.
Early rotate and have decided to stay on the low ground.
yeah, look at a team like KCP playing over towards Lava Fissure there. That's not a bad bet. They also can just pop quickly into the ring and grab the ring console over in Lava Fissure if they feel like that might be worth the meds and just the risk to help their next steps and formulate a plan from there.
All right, Zane. Bunny hopping his way all the way around.
And they say you can't do movement on console.
Having too much fun. KCP also had the bow check in the hands of Nasky. And Zane's also got the gold extended light mag. The only thing he's missing is those disruptor rounds to ring through the air, and that would be deadly.
All right, tell me, Vicky, if you get the alternator early game, are you sticking with it? Are you a believer? Are you like, oh yeah, I'm definitely picking up the disruptor rounds, or are you just like, no, let's play it safe. We take the R3 or the R9.
I'll take it until I start rotating. If I've already passed 2 POIs and I don't see a disruptor, if I find an R3 or 1, or
2
it's
POIs,
for, yeah,
that's the rule.
Yeah, it's a 2 POI rule for me. Some people will just give it the one and done, but unfortunately, at least for me, I want to be able to get that faith because those are disruptor rounds. It makes you happy, but unless you're on the other side, then it makes you cry. Literally brings tears to your eyes for how much it hurts. Oh, right, Knuckle Cluster still finding some impact to eat that from across, still being able to find some takes, and they also have information. That's something else that the Knuckle Clusters do for you. It allows you to check the Evo shields from the opposition, from the squads that are rotating from landside, which is Onyx Esports in this situation.
I mean, who needs Vantage, right? Like, yeah, as you say, like, you know, tickle them with Knuckle Cluster, you get that info
And just
anyway.
saying, give Echo a P2020. You just never know what Echo could do flying through, all right? But, you know, sometimes even if that sniper isn't enough to give you some of that check, at least you got those Knuckle Clusters do it for you on Fuse.
Yeah, because Vantage having 3 guns with the with the sniper rifle isn't enough. We need 4. Chuck one on Echo.
I like the idea. Ironblood Gaming with this Valk over to the side, just neighboring right alongside Aurora. This is a difficult situation unless they start wrapping around the mountain closer to Grandma's house, because if they do want to try to rotate towards the Volt side, Fnatic is there already. And then once they get through Fnatic, Aurora just get right behind them. And if they want to engage on Aurora, then they're just going to get third party by Fnatic.
Yeah, it's a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. But I gotta say, man, Aurora, it feels like they've got a rule as well. It's like, oh, we can't leave Skyhook until we've had a fight. Until we've taken a team fight, maybe taken out another team, we're going to stay in Skyhook. So, you know, the zone is not here, but Aurora are, and that's a statement we'll probably be saying a few times throughout this tournament.
What was a team that I think about? Choosing violence. It's Aurora now. Be able to rotate on the other side. Take that gravity lift to try to take. Kai does 9 impulse. Gets a little bit of a haircut here. Also some information from the other side. That's IBG once again. Fnatic is still overlooking this fight. Not trying to overextend. The attempt was there from IBG. It's the respect. Sometimes you get the Bloodhound scan into the Bloodhound scan. Show that respect.
Fnatic creeping closer though. I don't know if the other teams do have that info on Fnatic being there, but if a knock comes out, you can bet they will get that sent.
And that's a good point too, because that's also a decision that Fnatic needs to make. They're probably going to be holding split positions. Two members looking to see what's going on over by Skyhook, which, by the way, KCP have made an appearance. So there's 3 squads that will be rotating from that south side of Skyhook into where the circle is going to be pulling. And if you could take a look at where it is with some of the teams that have that ring console information, it is pulling towards that north side of Landside in that open area where Energy could have predicted maybe it could be pulling towards that truck.
That said, Vicky, we've got 3 squads very close to each other, but absolutely nowhere near the zone right now. So FC Destroy, they're on the tail end here of Optic Gaming. And to their right, actually now probably getting a little further away, is MD White, who are going to be probably going back through Monument where they started out.
I mean, with an evac, they'll be fine to get right through that rock, but do you want to risk taking that in a position like this? It's the same equivalent to the problem that a lot of teams still sticking to their Valkyrie in the last playoffs had. It's the risk of trying to land too late on top of a team. KCP, hearing the fight, getting involved themselves. This is one of the 3 teams that are still in Skyhook, trying to see what's happening over there by the squad that has that Bloodhound and has scanned them already.
I mean, almost 4 as well, right? Fnatic are leaving a man in the tunnel to watch that, but they're like watching with keen interest what's going on here. And IBG have said, well, we're probably taking a little bit too long now, so we might actually have to rotate all the way out of the circle to get out of here, while KCP and Aurora sit even longer in Skyhook.
Interesting. Probably have medkits to work with. Wondering if they haven't already scanned that survey beacon, if they're just opting to get information, or if they're opting to take a different approach, maybe with an evac. We're gonna have to see how that plays out for them. FC Destroy. Another team rotating from the circle, this time around, from the south side of World's Edge. This is the team that was contesting Optic Gaming before in Big Mod, and they have not let them breathe once, almost to get revenge after what happened in game number 1. But is this something that they want to take on this rotate? I mean, it's not a terrible rotate. If they have the meds for it, they could approach from staging if they know that it's just a solo from Optic Gaming.
Wow, Vicky with the call here. I've just had a look at where the ring's going next, and you have nailed it. North of Landslide, TSM, the team currently sitting in there, and they'll be looking at that. That means Countdown, where we've got the angle for here. There's going to be so many teams just funneling through, and a situation where a lot of them are going to struggle to make it over the ramparts and into you know, the free-flowing fields in front of Landslide and to the east of Countdown.
On the plus side, there is a lot of natural cover with the rocks, and again, it's that high to low ground that you can work with in between that area, exiting out of that Countdown side. But from circles like this, it sometimes also pulls over to the east as MDY White engaging in the fight, burning down what we had seen from the team IBG, who had to rotate all the way outside of circle.
Yeah, because they were going for the res there. They had the mobile respawn beacon down, but unfortunately, it's a beacon in more than one ways. You see that big pulsing green light, and you know another team is there. So MDY White are going to take the KP that comes along with that.
Absolutely served on the silver platter if they want to work with it, but something that maybe MDY White have to keep note of is the team that's right in front of them go next. But if they engage here, this will be the noise that Fnatic needs to hear to know that they're about to fight. Currently, Disguise also in some trouble.
Look, round 3 closing 17 teams. You all know what that means. It's about to kick off.
Oh, this is going to be the bloodbath moment for game number 2. Disguise going for the res. In the plus side, having these gold evos, you love to see it because you could just restabilize just as quick here as Senox having to reset completely. See the piercing spikes on the floor, TSM on top of that high ground on that platform. They had a nice rotation to this platform on land side when they were hanging out on the south side outside the mountain from Countdown, seeing all these teams congregate together and avoiding a lot of that chaos.
Some amount of meds. I was just wondering as we saw a couple of team members on TSM quite low on health, how many they'd have. If you're up here without the Lober, it can be a little tricky, but Fnatic now finally in the tunnel getting into the action.
It was just a matter of time. Where else did they go but Fnatic? They dropped the ball and served themselves to MDY Whites. The crowd energy here to support them, and with the gold knockdown, you're gonna be able to get that res with some extra health. I mean, you got some time to go into that next circle, but there's so many teams, Genome, still alive. 16 squads still left. Yes, they have the extra loot, but they're gonna have to exit out of that tunnel where they'll be in that slight open area where other teams that go next, NRG, can start taking pickings at them.
Yeah, the Hipfire G7, it's always a little bit of a gamble, I say. And Optic Gaming, trying to gamble that no one's going to notice dropped here in this position. I hope he's picked his skin blends in with the grass or the pallets particularly well, because he's going to need some camouflage, I think, to stay alive here. Realize, looks like they...
No. You need to smoke this, you need to smoke this. They're getting gripped from that side.
Go! I got Stay on me! Rotate to me! Play other side! Get these men!
Batting. Where's their third? I don't know.
He went up, he flew up somewhere. I watched him fly up.
They died. Okay.
Loot. Walking forward.
I'm gonna keep here. I'm
I'm 91 to hold.
I don't see anything. Nobody's holding like close. They're just holding inside. Wait, out here. Wait, watch out for the ramp on the left. They're peeking right here.
Inside on me!
Okay, I'm here.
Do we need a drop?
I'm 0-1. I need shields. Here. Drop it, drop the bat.
We have to drop.
Okay.
Fighting close left. No one's close left.
I'm popping right. Yeah, there's. Popping right.
On our right. On me, safe, on me.
There's people here, in this corner.
On me, safe.
Okay.
I'm in the horizon queue.
Sing. Nice. I might be safe. The catwalk's still in. Yeah. Let me pull it. Cover. Hey, big inside left.
Enemy here.
Got a blue crates here.
Enemy here.
They dropped
here. They're gonna fight here. Hard fighting.
No, they're...
Safe on me.
No, they're fighting him, I think. Yeah. Come on. Can we not just chill hugging the wall? I told you there was like something in the corner.
Getting loot right now.
70 right here.
It's another
Look at the right. Yeah, look open.
Enemy.
Shoot that wall. Shoot watch it.
I don't see it. I tell you.
I threw him.
You got a bat off. 30 on him.
Wow. Yeah, he's dead.
Is there anyone else?
We go to the right.
Wait, let's kill the bank. I'm pushing on this. We're going this. We're gonna get mirrored. They see us doing it. It's fine. I don't care. Okay. I'm just letting you know.
Swing in the right out.
One guy.
One dead.
Trying to get mirrored.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Grab the prowler.
Grab the prowler.
We're jumping behind. They're playing a touch show. Digi on the box.
There's a gold R9 on this guy.
I got it. There's another Digi.
On the right side peeking.
Watch out, right. We gotta focus left, guys. We gotta focus left. We have to focus left, guys.
Yep.
Evan, watch our back. Focus left. Focus left. Did they wall up?
No.
They're still inside. Okay. I don't have my ulti yet. 70 on one. think they walked up a little bit. I'm gonna fuse ult this. Close, close. 70. I'm skynating. In the smoke, right there, right on you, Al, in the smoke. Okay. Cracked right here. I cracked one. There's nobody on the right. They're all killing each other.
Whoa.
I'm peeking this. Take space to the right side here. I stuck one.
Whoa.
Look at me. He's dead. Watch on there, dead. Someone's crossing the open. I'm healing. I'm one shot. I'm really one shot. I have no big meds. I need help. Looking. Wall that off. I need it back. I have no shield, bro. I have no light. I have zero shields. Okay. I have no ammo. They're fighting right side. Can we third party right? Yeah. I saw one. Third party right, guys. Third party right. They're fighting right. Looking. I have no shields at all. I need to push. Swing out to the right. Yeah, wait for me, anyone? No. Knock one. Rush me. Last team. I'm looking to the left. I have the bat. I'm burning. Tune up. Knock Horizon weak. Crack the tap. 94 cat. Swing in the right. My shield. Got that. Last guy. Nice. Good stuff, baby. I have no ammo, bro. The whole time. Good shit. Who the fuck puts it on auto power? You need to.
No, it's on default, I think.
What?
Is it? Oh, I don't know actually how that works. Actually, I'm not sure.
Good did they look? I mean, they started off that final circle so well. As I said, when we came into Circle 5, Vicky, it was almost like you had the
You have that.
Quick maths, what is it? 360 divided by 5. Anyway, that amount, they were all coming into the angle, like this last circle from a different angle, but once they got in there, all of a sudden, TSM just spread out and constrict the space, taking it all for themselves, and then it's only at that last moment where they're at risk of getting picked that they group up again, and just the elasticity of the team to be flexible like that, I think is really one of their strengths, and showing that they can play that in two different ways there, whatever the situation requires.
The two games that they won in groups A and D, or rather A and B, was very similar to this. That's exactly how they were able to win Game 4 on Stormpoint and Game 3 on World's Edge, playing in these split positions that you make mention of. Taking a look at a replay from that final circle, Reps having the R9 and G7, this entire team was starving on light ammo. And Hal was beaming with the R9 from the time that we saw him rotating from Landslide KCP get eliminated, but it's fine. That 30-30 was in good hands here. Even when the squad took to the height, with that gravity lift, he was able to not just ignore who's on the height, he had faith in Verhulst right there.
Sorry, but you're coming with me, gravity lift flying. Oh, I love that play. Surely Hal running light on the light ammo there has to be on one of those Reddit bingo cards as well. But, oh look, TSM have taken out, what is that, like their third game already for today? I think it's been a very impressive effort by them. Has to be one of, if not the highest, just game to win ratios so far. Looking very impressive.
That is their third dub for the day today. I like the consistency that we are seeing from TSM. Not so surprised. Once again, when I was taking a look at scrims for the first 3 weeks, I did see that this team was incredibly consistent. They're bringing that energy going into LAN as they should, and also being able to secure a good amount of KP aside from the dub after that second game.
Vibing out. Loving it here. I hope the crowd's loving it. I hope everyone at home is loving our first day of ALGS Championship LAN action here. It's been a wild ride, frankly. I'm loving it from the Apex South perspective, of course, as always, Vicky. We had a bit of a rough playoff split 2 honestly. But it feels like we've almost gone a little bit back, wound it back to split one, where we had some impressive results. But look, if we're winding it back to split one, then who knows? Maybe these guys will be lifting the trophy again. Because damn, if they aren't looking good.
Oh, they absolutely are. And I was looking at Hellscam, and he looks absolutely locked in. The comms seem very fresh. Again, I really like the shoulder-to-shoulder play that we've been seeing between Verholst, Rebs, and Hal. If we see that Hal goes down, Verholst and Rebs take these two different off angles. I feel like that is their strength that we just keep highlighting, because it's that split decision making where if a team is pinned between two individual players, what position are you going to hold so that way you can find the advantage to have both of them in your line of sight? Because if one is to your back, what are you going to do in a situation like that? You would have to reposition, especially if you're on the low ground there. That's why we like the gravity lift being used second from Hal, because he was able to bring that player up with him. Get over here, basically, bring it to him. Like, we are taking...
Hit him with a scorpion.
You got to out here, and that's kind of very similar to what we had seen. And also, they were low on light ammo, so they had to work with what they already had. I think Rebs had double light. He had, like, the G7 and the R9. So, in a case like that, you have to work with what you got. Even the melee.
With the melee.
Yeah, the melee right there at the apex of the gravity lift. But so far, yeah, that is TSM's third win. When we calculate the total, what they were able to achieve with the KP on top of that, they gotta look good and they gotta stay consistent. And on the other side, what I was surprised to see, Genome, our winners from game number 1, that consistency, unfortunately, not benefiting them. I believe they fell in 16th after that second game.
Okay, so getting a look at the points here, we're seeing the TSM take away 25 points here just from that game. 13 kills on top of it, and this starts to raise some interesting questions, because this is where we get into the really spicy part of the group stage, where TSM, obviously, they had 58 points going into this just off the one series, right? Chuck 25 on top of here, couple for the rest of the games they play, and you're like, okay, TSM 100%, they're through to the winners final. Sorry, the winners part of the bracket stage. Now, at that point, you can start worrying about, like, hey, we don't like the fact that Kick are contesting us. We can start messing around with these guys, right? You need to start locking down your drop spots. Once you are through to the winners final, honestly, that becomes your next objective.
Or if they want to do what we had seen previous between Dark Zero and Dojo and grief other teams maybe out here too. Yeah, finding the opportunity for it. They're already comfortable, just why not in that case? But we have to let these games extend, see how this is going to go for TSM, because our top 3 squads right now, even going all the way down to IBG in that 4th place spot, are rather close. Yes, there's that gap between TSM and Disguise after just those 2 games alone, but we have noticed with these teams, I'm talking about IBG when it comes to Stormpoint, I mentioned it before, so these teams just do better when we make that transition into those final 3 games in the series where they do a better job on Stormpoint.
It definitely does differ from map to map, doesn't it? And, you know, with 2 matches down, I mean, you know, you can see the people who are on 0 points, right? J-Lings and Kick, that's because they're getting contested. So this is kind of what we're talking about with, you know, the teams who are deciding to vie for those POIs. It's a big risk, and you can end up with that donut in hand.
Talking about J-Lings and Kick in that situation, the contest coming in and not benefiting them in those first 2 games. But when do you call it at that point? Do you just commit when you have only 1 game left on World's Edge? And if you find yourself more comfortable, then do you just decide to go somewhere else, or are you going to just take the L and just try to do better on Stormpoint?
Well, I think we've seen a shift in that, right? I feel like in times gone by, you know, it was like 1 or 2 games, and then you're like, you know what, I guess we go Dome. Like, no one else wants to, that's kind of our lot now in life. But recently, teams have been a little more hard-headed about it, and it feels over the past year, more and more we're seeing teams go like, if we decide to contest, it's do or die. It is like, either we're going to get to finals or they're going to write our name on the gravestone here somewhere in Monument.
If you want to dig your own grave against the CEO himself out here trying to make a name for this champs, let's take a look at the stats that we just saw currently right now within this stage alone. Going to be able to get 6 kills, 6 assists thus far, but it's about the damage that he's been able to put down with the follow-ups between Verholst and Reps.
All right. Yeah, I think that was just from the last game, I'm assuming there. You can see 6 kills, almost 3k damage. But yeah, if that was just from the last game, that's nuts. I mean, you know, 2.7k damage in a lobby like this is pretty damn impressive. Actually, yeah, probably would expect that because it was what 13 kills for the team, right? So that does kind of track. And if you have looked at you've really gone deep into the stats in past tournaments, Vicky, you will know that Imperial is very often all the way at the top.
Well, while he's locked in, I want to hear from Keeps, who's taking a visit to the WD Black booth. Take it away.
What up, everybody? I'm We the People, and I am here at the WD Black Lounge at ALGS Championship, all right? So they have one of the sickest setups you could possibly hang out in. If you create an account with them and buy a product, you get 10% off their entire product range, which is a heck of a lot of money you could save. But that's not all that they got, all right? So powered by Cyber Power PC here, you could actually 1v1 a pro or an influencer to win a WD Black product, or they also have some free coaching lessons that you could just come here, become a better player, become a better streamer, anything at all. But that's not it. So if you head over here, part of the ALGS passport that you do have to fill out is you have to spin this wheel, all right? And by spinning this wheel, you get to win some amazing prizes. And not only that, after you fill out your passport, you do win some more prizes as well. So we're gonna spin this wheel right now. Let's see what we get. Spin again. So guess what? We're gonna spin again because I got a feeling, and I got a feeling like the Black Eyed Peas. It's spin again. Third time's the charm. You can't make it up. Not this time. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but you will never know if you don't make it down here because WD Black is the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series. I'll see you here.
Some wise words from our former #1 Bred in Apex Legends. Thank you, peeps. We appreciate you.
You know what? Next time, I think we need to get like some team stickers, and we put them on each of the little pieces of pie, and we spin it around, and it's like, you know, it comes up. Dreamfire. Not this time. I'm sorry, guys.
It's like, oops, all right, spin again. Spin twice just to get nothing at the end.
Oops.
Sometimes your luck runs dry when you get to pull a Nessie out of a claw machine, all right? We got to see that earlier from We the People. But we also want to see what goes down into our next game. That's 2 games down thus far. We had Disguise take game #1 with double digits, as well as TSM take game #2 with 13 KP to their name. Let's see who takes game #3, our final game on World's Edge before we transition to Storm Point for our final 3 games of the day.
So we were looking at TSM and Kick last time. Now I'm just going to keep my eyes on J-Lings and MDY White. So J-Lings going with Bangcat Horizon, MDY White. I think they were the same, actually. So, you know, both going with what we would call the meta composition at the moment. And, yeah, I mean, Horizon, like, I always keep my eye on that pick for contest because it's just so important. But then it does vary by POI, right? There's not a huge high ground, I feel like, that you necessarily fight on as much. Maybe, you know, the middle tower in Monument, but you do have, like, fairly good access to that with ziplines and whatnot. So, look,
And
either way.
What does a cat bring to the table, too? On top of that, if you're forced to play off that low ground, too, if Piercing Spikes covers some space, at least it's option coverage, depending on how the transition of the fight goes.
Well, she's very good without her ult. I think that's what you would say about Catalyst, right? But we'll go back and see if TSM can mop this up as quickly as they did the second time.
Let's do it again. TSM versus Kick right now. And Hal's already picked up the PK.
Nice one.
Oh. 1-2, Scooby-Doo over to the other side. That gravity lift, though. And he heard him coming in. Where is he hopping to?
Oh!
Okay, now it's all to Verhorst. How many of the others are still up from Kick? It's 2, and they're going to drop it. Get it on him! Oh, not this time!
Look at his smile! Look at his smirk! Kick said, don't worry! We got it once! It happened once!
Up here.
I got a
How about you, Skittle?
No, not really, dude.
Yeah.
We have Crafter Geyser. We have Crafter here as well. Like, I feel like the only thing I would say is no name, but we don't know if it's gonna go no name for sure. Kind of just like playing for a mid spot.
Yep.
Got an extended energy. Got an Evo shield here. Level 2.
Grabbing all those.
Bat here.
I'm gonna go back here and grab this assault bin.
Thank you.
Is that blue heavy?
Extended heavy mag here. Level 2.
I'm scout full this game. Car scout. Another bat. Good.
Blue save at
Optics
2x.
here. Close range.
I can grab that that extra bat. And I can drop a Moby for you next if you wanna grab it.
Okay.
Moby there where the tower was.
PSG just pulled in towards Siphon, looks like.
Yep.
Kick won the contest, by the way, we have no clue if they're gonna do it.
Yep.
Oh. They did, especially if it pulled a little bit more so towards the Vince, but go next. Get beamed. Hammer drill. Finding slap. Bambino trying to create some space. Being on that fuse, tossing out that nade, but look at the gold R9 that he is rocking with some now extra loop to his feet from Oslab. Gonna be able to walk away from that, but also pressuring out that team to now back away for now. Playing in that vault though and taking this fight and making it too long is gonna be incredibly dangerous for the teams that once again take their time to rotate into that next circle, such as Optic, like we've seen already before. Disguised with their rotate, they're approaching that choke point closer to Geyser. FC Destroy though, seeing where they're rotating and maybe saying, all right, well, we've already declared that this is going to be our space, setting up the Watson fences on the outside of the bunker doors. Is there a need right now to overextend with other teams that have already rotated in the open area of Overlook?
Oh, lots of teams getting into it at the chokes that surround Geyser. It is a very tough area to navigate when you need to get from one side to the other. The sort of when you do traverse from north to the south of this map, as these teams are trying to traverse the catwalls here. Senox just gets yeeted by that nade.
Oh, couldn't even use the Horizon Black Hole here too. Ooh. Pushes his way around the corner of the Veil. Is it going to be enough there too as Dupe comes out and tries to rotate around that? His kick eliminated in 18th. NRG clean up on aisle 4 to try to find that last straggler as they chase him down.
Yeah, as one curtain falls, another is drawn, and NRG trying to be the beneficiaries of that, and they will be. Disguise go down. NRG, as you can see, have got 14 points so far coming into, or at least at this part of Game 3 here in our final series for the first day. And Geyser, look, they've got a ring console there if they need to pop that. So depending on whether NRG want to play that choke that they just went through, or maybe plan their next steps from Geyser, they have given themselves some options now.
Could be a little risky just in case, noting that Optic are making that rotate too into Geyser. Also, maybe not wanting to rotate through the Volt side too, with so many teams that have already clustered that side. Moist Esports, being their POI over by Overlook, aren't going to be moving from here, but instead are going to be able to pressure the likes of Fnatic and IBG. We're taking a look at KCP, who have found themselves the safety of this building, and Citadel, all right.
I'm trying to work, like, is this the, yeah, I was about to say, you've got so much of his screen right there taken up by the ultimate animation. You can see he was just trying to work out exactly where he could place it inside that building, you know, just for maximum coverage. Anyway, NRG, okay, so they have moved up from Geyser. They wanted an earlier spot in the ring, and they've decided to play in Ghost Town.
Do like this decision. We've seen the circle pull here too. On the outside of the fence line, sometimes of the northern buildings of Ghost Town. There's also a survey beacon, but I don't expect these teams to be able to get that safely, especially with so many other teams that are looking on top of that high ground here.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, we had a little bit of Gibraltar earlier. I don't think we've got one in this lobby. We'll have to go back and work out who that was. I think it was one of the APAC North teams, I think, that was playing Gibby, and really in these kind of very tight end circles, the dome protection is the only way to get a scan off in one of those.
But NRG, I like the position that they're holding right now. You saw Sweet at an off angle on that slight high ground right next to the building that NRG are also holding, and they call it. Look at where this circle is going to be pulling away from Overlook.
Yeah, this is what I've said. Like, Moist just keep holding this position and the circle just will not go there. Does that mean that's a... is that a current season thing? Because these teams, they say that there's trends every season, right? You're like, okay, we see a lot of this circle this season, and it feels like certainly the silo ending we are not seeing in tournaments very often so far in Overlook. But Moist continue to hold that position, and we've got to see if this time they've learned some mistakes maybe from the failed rotates the other times, and they can get in a little bit further.
You see, you have 4 months to be able to see where these circles pull. You have 3 options depending on where that circle is here, and that's something that they've been able to adapt around as well. Yeah, they're on top of the silos, and Moist can now see where the teams that they were able to pressure out originally are now going to be rotating. The Crafter is busy, and Waltzy just with this position with the 30-30 and the 3-time scope.
Yeah, looks like he's waiting for, he was hoping to maybe hold back a shot until someone actually put something on the Crafter and then just try and beam them down, but look, getting a little bit impatient, saying, well, no, I want my purple shield, 138. Still needs a couple of shots on the Peter to get that.
But a little bit of damage right now. Meanwhile, teams that have already been in no name, like KCP, NRG, not going to be able to move. Sitting very happy here, while Go Next, and have also not moved from that Vault Tunnel and having to play this game completely as a duo after FC Destroy took advantage, moving in, getting that one player. So many teams are playing by the edge of the circle, but you could expect chaos from that north side teams. Aurora, Onyx, Ironblood Gaming, Moist, Fnatic. And once they all engage, it's easy pickings for the teams on the north side of No Name that could start poking from the window side.
Yeah, and out of the couple of teams you just mentioned there, certainly Onyx and IBG have been okay at making their way into the later circles. Aurora, who look like they're about to try and take a fight with Onyx, as I think both teams put down a Bangalore ult there. We'll have to wait for those to go off before I think we get the engagement happening, but Aurora certainly look like they want to take this fight.
That catwall, very interesting. I mean, as they drop down from the high ground now, and Onyx Esports are transcending on these train tracks, there's a team right above them, and they're getting pressured out. You can hear the 30-30s ringing through the air. Impulse beams them, and the follow-up two with Uchako are going to be able to clean up
2 down.
Those 2 members, yeah.
Raki and Crusader go by the wayside there, so it's all up to Shady now. I mean, the armor advantage was certainly going the way of Aurora, right? Triple purples there. Would have made that a hard fight for Onyx either way, but this time they've finally turned the tides. As you can see, sitting in 19th place in the lobby currently with 4 points.
Getting some extra loot here too. The gold extended light mag, you'll love to see it on the car. It'd be nice if you have that digi, but we can't have them all. Calling in the ultimate accelerant so that way he could have that creeping barrage even quicker. 16 squads still left, and that's because so many teams are inside their own respective buildings. Teams that have a building, NRG, KCP like we mentioned before, J-Links, Blackhand, Oxygen, Sentinels. And other teams are still taking their time because they don't have information on where that next circle is going to be pulling. So like Moist, now they see where the circle is going to be pulling here once it closes.
Yeah, so we can see that with the dotted circle. As you can see, Moist immediately went to the ring console, so that's why they've opted to stay here in Overlook, because they want to see where this is going, and then that'll give them the information about where to make their next step to the next rotation. NRG, who are in the survey building in Ghost Town here, I think that could potentially be Godspot. Going a little bit further into this game, and Go Next, who were kind of hoping we'd get a repeat of the ye olde circle from Split 2. I don't think they're going to be quite as happy.
I'm interested to see how Optic Gaming make their next move, because although they are playing by that choke and realizes to their left, the moment that either of those teams engage on one another, that position is a pretty good position to hold with the natural LOS opportunity that you have to get out of those LOS sites from NRG, from the likes of KCP through those buildings. So you could hold that hillside and still have high advantage depending on where that circle is going to shift, even if it shifts over to the west side of where that next circle is. getting engaged in a fight already. NRG is the team that was inside of this building originally, and Optic Gaming smell blood. They want to share some of this building space with them, and instead of going and contesting them on the inside, they're just going to be hanging out on the bottom side, which is what we commonly see from the teams that share this building.
I mean, it's playable, but I'm doing playable in air quotes here. I don't know if it's just I have like PTSD from the Caustic days of World's Edge, and when you play under here, and it's just like every single time you're getting grenaded into a corner and then Caustic altered to death, like almost just every single time, maybe even several teams on repeat as that happens. But it is playable, so we'll see how Optic survives underneath there. Certainly NRG will be a little bit happier inside the building. Here's that rotation now from Moist. It's a big balloon. Do they actually make it? They decide to play the respawn beacon and the bins. Interesting decision.
That's scary. I mean, where do they go at that point? They don't have information with a scan passive where they're flying over a bunch of teams. Instead, they just see all the bullets of the 30-30s ringing through like it's fireworks as they fly right past all of them.
Yeah, I feel like at that position you have to be actually quite disciplined with your smokes as a Bangalore. I think it's 15 seconds for the cooldown there between the smokes, and you really just have to use them. You can't almost smoke two things at once, right? You just have to use one at a time to make sure you've always got some cover to hide yourself in.
Oh, I saw blood splatter right there. Could be already a cracked player landing with just health. Ampu, unfortunately, couldn't get the follow-up with the G7 there, but is still holding this position. This is a nice position for Realize to hold, a position that I thought Optic Gaming may have wanted to hold themselves, but now they just gave that free real estate to Realize. They'll be able to move into that next circle, and Fnatic are going to be able to find themselves in the lobby instead. 15 squads still left, and J-Lings have not moved from this building, as they should. They're playing on the edge of the circle, but they will have to get moving soon.
Yeah, tons of pressure, starting to put that on Team Singularity, who are about to get cleaned up by FC Destroy Elysium. I don't care how good you are. Oh, headbutts the grenade there, and that's, I don't know, I guess he was a little bit dizzy as he gets taken out with the R9.
Team Singularity out. 14 squads left while shifting their attention. FC Destroy. Let's not forget, they were hugging the vault doors of that armory, of that tunnel, and now we're going to be able to rotate around past the north side of the train tracks, as well as finding IBG, who don't want to fully engage. They're inside of that train cart too, on that slight high ground. Not fully in the circle, but the bloodbath that's going to come out from the teams that have to funnel outside of Fragment will be easy pickings for IBG with this position if FC Destroy doesn't pinch them from behind.
Yeah, currently IBG, both them and J-Lings are sort of split holding, you know, RV and building or train tracks, and a little bit below there with Ziki. Just trying to maximize their position to hurt the other teams moving in as this circle closes over the next 30 seconds.
Sweet wanted to poke around for a little bit, said nope, never mind, and he was literally one shot before he jumped right inside back into the building, and they were able to reinforce the doors with the catalyst. Bambino gets taken out by a 30-30 coming in from Oobly, and Optic Gaming now still playing off the slow ground. See that team from right behind them, but can't fully push because then they'll be in the line of sight of energy.
Okay, Sentinels just having to run in here. Everything will be used. There's no point leaving anything in the tank, and Koifol has just a shred of health to play with here, but they can't make it through. Aurora and Onyx will make sure of that.
That was the bloodbath that we were going to see. They were forced to just be out in the open, and where do you go from here when IBG has the height and also has this free reign over where you're forced to rotate? Not just them, but also Aurora. We could see them lighting up the feed. Black Hand losing out on Strafing Flame. Back away for right now. Easy Flash Kid having to be careful right through that gravity lift here too, but unfortunately they lose out on Strafing Flame. See player, I was wondering if he wasn't trying to set up the fences. He does set up the fences on another fence line, but then now they're in the line of sight of another team. Optic also get a knock with a Thermite too on the other side. They're finally engaging onto NRG, so KCP on the other side find Black Hand in these two split fights.
KCP doing well there to take down all the teams surrounding this, but more will flood in. It looks like MT's decision to take the respawn beacon is paying off. All of a sudden, they lord down upon the teams below them. It's a great vantage point here for Moist Esports.
This is off of them using an evac tower to get into the position of those crates. Insane here, while they're able to keep oppressing this team from inside the truck. Zane gets taken out thanks to Walty right there too. He also did a little bit of tick damage from what looked like to be The Thermite, KCP out. 7 squads left here, while Moist still have that slight high ground. NRG are taking some pressure, and Optic Gaming get eliminated by NRG doing the comeback.
As soon as they take any aggro, Moist have got another team that they can go farm KP off, so they'll pull back, they won't waste too much time there, and they'll start harassing another team. So, here we go, round 5 will close. IBG have to try and get above their Apex South compatriots here, but they're not going to make it. Moist pull back now, and they've got to worry about Aurora and NRG.
Oh, but while the fighting's happening over on the right side by No Name, realize, take advantage, and clean up the team that's leaving fragments. This is the team that was close to Optic Gaming on the south side of the circle. Now they have free reign of the entire west side of the circle on Moist. By Aurora, the third party's gonna come in to realize.
And it's been so clean here. Waltzy needs to get the armor swap. Will he get it off? Actually, he's going for the bat instead, but the gravity lift comes up. Have they reset in time? Do they have enough left in the tank? Moist, it's all up to Waltzy. A couple of bullets left. He pulls out the repeater, but it's not enough.
Such a smart, patient game from Realize. Landing in thermal, making the rotation to the south side. Gives a thumbs up real quick with the monster in hand. Especially after that game. Realize. Really realizing, I mean, very similar to what we had seen game 3 in their group at A and B stage, where they took, or rather they had gotten second place with 11 KP to their name. It was TSM that had taken that game, but it was so close until they finally got that dub right there. Just smiles, feeling themselves a little bit, get the little head nod here too on top of that. That's what we like to see from our APAC teams.
I mean, you've got to understand, these are some of the most veteran players in all of Play Apex esports. I mean, those guys have been around since the very start. Karapu and Obli, they were there in Poland. They have, they've been almost all the way to the top, but still something eludes them. The trophy, Vicky, and a win like that will just give them that feeling that they're one step closer.
Hey, when they make the comeback after game number 1, they fell in 16th with no KP. Before that game alone, they were sitting in 14th. It was a huge deal there for them to make the comeback and get a huge last game on World's Edge before transitioning now into Stormpoint. I do believe that is a team that does excel a lot better on World's Edge, and I keep highlighting that because it makes a difference for the squads that do have the upper hand depending on their team compositions going into these different map swaps. That's it for World's Edge, and that's it to say from what these teams are able to provide on that map. Our final 3 games are going on to Stormpoint, but before we get there, I want to hear some thoughts over by Rainday.
Well, that's exactly what we've got for you, Vicky Kitty and Genome. Thoughts and some handsome men right by me here, all dressed to the 9s. Well, I guess, what are we, the 7s? Maybe the 9s will be on Sunday. We're going to keep elevating as we move forward throughout the championship. Rainday, Dia, Zephyr, and Graceful now on the desk to walk you through games 1 versus 3 and set up games 4 versus 6, which will also come on Stormpoint. But Graceful, obviously, we saw Realize take that win, a big win for them. They've been performing quite well today. I believe in their earlier group, they were around 5th place overall. Walk me through what you saw in that final circle, and also walk me through kind of what you're seeing here in terms of Realize's performance over the day.
So everybody's performance in general has been ramping up rapidly, I would say. Realize specifically has been, okay, let's just say APAC in general, Realize as well, have all been guns blazing in general, I would say.
Yeah.
This right here though, underneath, the zone is pulling towards them on the underneath side bridge, on the east side of Frag East or No Name Village. They're able to just clean up fights after fight, taking isolated fights, and just, they're so good at fighting together. As a team, when you're a death ball and you can trust your guy when you're saying, I'm swinging left, I'm swinging right, and somebody follows up, you feel unstoppable. And they're just showcasing that so perfectly.
Is that something that APAC maybe brings a little bit more to the table, unity in how they like to fight, how they move?
Yes, so the biggest thing that people haven't really realized yet, since Seer came out of the meta a little bit, Apex is gods of mechanics. I would say all players, rollers, mouse and keyboards. Now that they get to showcase this, just raw fighting prowess, they've been all over it. Like they're going so hard on everyone.
Zephyr, clearly it's working. It worked here in this final circle. Still a very competitive overall group. Moist Esports, a team we had talked about earlier. Even Aurora having a couple of nice games. And I know you like Amiya, or at least
Still
who doesn't know
see
you
the
like Amiya?
return for Amiya, all but a little bit here. Aurora, and of course, I'll give a little tail end to Pioneers for some of our early matches today, but I'm always happy to see that, especially in what we talk about when we go into the more competitive kind of micro analysis of, say, those APAC teams. You start to target Aurora, the likes of them, very similarly having that kind of success as we make our way down towards our bottom 10 here. Not much to say. A fantastic representation, though, for Janglings, especially after they got that great wipe on MDY wipe early on.
You know, it's interesting, D, I know you like to talk about South America. We were just talking a little bit of your backstage Brazil stories, but in terms of that, Kick not able to do too much with that win against TSM, though it does kind of give them a lot of confidence going forward. TSM still leading on the day after 3.
Yeah, they're obviously going to do really well. I think TSM, the biggest surprise for me has been how quickly they've jumped into the day. Normally I see them taking a little while to warm up during the playoffs. And actually, to touch on the South America point as well, having talked to both these teams, they feel like this is their most difficult group. Both Kick and Singularity have a little bit of a difficult time with Kick being constantly contested, and Singularity having to change up their own drops in order to suit specifically A versus D.
Most importantly, too, just remember the story of South America for those joining us is that they did not make it into finals. Not a representative from South America has had a chance to even play in match point. So just doing that in championship, obviously it's a step forward, but ultimately they want to be competing for the top prize. What has changed, though, over the past couple of months in Apex is a lot, whether it's meta, whether it's characters, or whether it's just the ring. And Graceful, walk us through what has changed, because Season 18 brought some updates to the pace of the ring in a very significant way.
So I would say it's very different. We have to look at it from two perspectives. In both pubs and competitive, the average match time has gone down drastically, right? But in general, since most people in pro games play Edge as well, that honestly hasn't changed too much. Ring 3 on average is when most teams rotate into the actual zone or where they fight for an actual god spot or a spot. So the macro hasn't really changed too much, but the timings have changed. So you actually have to make up way faster plans now, and you know, crafting mass also costs more now for medkits in zone. They gotta be fast.
One of the things we kind of talked about is that, in fact, this ring change isn't necessarily that you can't do the same things, but you have different consequences for doing those same things. As in a word, you're now going to run into different teams, Zephyr. You're going to have to take different rotations. You may still be able to get those med kits, but it's going to result in obviously now having to face a new challenge.
Exactly, and we got to see that actually earlier today. I know they're not here right now, but Alliance, we pick on them especially, and they were held out by NRG in landslide, forced to rotate all the way through back in this zone. And previously, where you can take the opportunity to kind of get your resources in a better state before you then approach zone 3, you're not able to do that anymore, and as a result, we are seeing a lot of that punishment, not just there, but with so many of our teams today.
Great points, and obviously we're going to continue this round table as we head to the rest of the games in just a moment. But before we do, we have to get to one of my favorite segments of the day, and that's, of course, WD Black's What's in Your Pack. Each day we will highlight an item that maybe has a bit of an impact or maybe just has highlighted itself today, no matter what. Dia, the car SMG has been in full force, demonstrating why SMGs in general, but also this weapon, is a great pick.
Especially because of its versatility, the car is always going to be such a valued pick. The ability to pick up both heavy and light ammo makes it really good in the early stage and late stage of the game when things get a little bit antsy. As well as that, it's really not that far off from the R99. It is a slightly, I guess, less popular weapon, but it serves a very similar role. Graceful, am I hitting the right points?
You're definitely hitting the right point. The biggest thing is that SMGs in general have been powerful across the all seasons generally, right? But we're talking about the best players in the world. They can control an R9, a car, like we do ARs generally speaking. They can shoot you from 0 to 100 meters and they'll just hit you for 100 and stuff like that. It's just so versatile, just the SMG in general. You play it mid-range, close range, and he just steamrolls.
And with the rise of, I think, more acceptance of controller being a standard meta in Apex, especially in these close engagements, where the way I was described it is that if you have a most important moment, it's usually going to be up close.
Yeah.
Those most important moments, far away, rarely happen, but the up close ones happen. That's where controller, that's where SMGs shine, and so that has kind of dictated where we have seen Apex Legends go. Obviously, we have 3 more games to come up. I want to leave it open to you guys as well. Any predictive thoughts? How are we feeling, TSM? You know, I thought that they would show up pretty well today. I think they have. I'm not sure if anyone is rebutting that. I know you've talked about 4 out of 6 zones earlier on went their way graceful. Are you now impressed with their play and not just the luck of the zones?
So this is the thing. We're getting to the stage of the day where veterans are stepping up. You see Pioneer stepping up, J-Links is stepping up. You know, all these veterans across all the rosters are finally getting into their groove. And I would say that generally speaking, they're warmed up. They're ready to hit the, you know, hit everyone. I saw TSM with a good macro as well. They fight every 3v3 so clean. They're showing why they're so far ahead of most teams in many aspects. But all the veterans, they got their niche, you know. Some got the macro, some got the fighting. But in the end, it's all about adapting. And veterans, they're the best at that.
I want to piggyback off of what you said just at the start there. KCP, Pioneers, they also very much veterans. I think they can go a little bit further, and the big test to me is going to come in the next map once we get over to Stormpoint, because that's when they have Mill. I talked about Mill. It was fantastic for Dark Zero. They get it all to themselves. They're not contested, much like Dreamfire weren't earlier today, and that's where they have to make a big splash.
And alongside that, when we talk about veterans, you can't help but bring up Moist. We've gotten a lot of the shine out of the APAC region, but especially earlier today, it felt like Moist weren't quite hitting it. They've started off this series with a bang, and I'm watching to see if they, like many of their brethren, can continue with the same fervor that we have seen.
Interestingly enough, you know, Oxygen Esports for me, they're a team that is notably underperforming. And I think it's only because we've kind of set the story up for them to be performing today. They came off a great split 2. They've obviously got the skill. There's a previous champion winner there in Vayne, and I think that means that expectations are high. But sometimes, as we've seen this, high expectations don't always lead to a team feeling more confident when that is on their back. A team maybe like NRG that comes to mind does a little bit better when the expectations are a little lower on them. They almost surprise us and play well with that off their back. But 3 games to go. What does that mean for Oxygen? What does that mean for TSM? Maybe no longer contesting. And what does that mean for any of these APAC squads, especially Realize, to continue the momentum? We are going to throw it in and get ready for our next 3 games here, because we're switching over to Stormpoint. Oh, and we're switching casters as well. And I think one of them just had and made me a coffee. Of course, I'm talking about Onset and Gaskin, looking good over there. How you doing, Bells?
Pretty good, man. You did change what I did to the coffee, though. That sounded weirder than it was meant to. Topped it up with cold water because he wanted it straight away. I thought I'd give him a nice hot coffee. He'd be good for that, but apparently it wasn't quite
Classic
right.
Americans always doing
I know,
something
right? But
different,
I will say, Dan, we've got 3 games left, and I'm ready to give it some energy, my friend. Stormpoint is where we're heading, and we're going to find out exactly how this group is going to look at the end of play.
And we do have Stormpoint specialists. I mean, I always say it, there are going to be some teams who prefer it. The worrying thing for this lobby, TSM historically have been better at Stormpoint over the most recent lands, and they are currently leading going into match 4, so maybe that is going to be bad news for the rest of the teams. But Moist are not far behind, only a few points separating the top 3 teams. So who's going to step up as we go into Stormpoint? Usually we can see a couple of early fights happening. We do have a contest happening. Again, it's going to be Kick. We know they constantly want to fight against someone else. Onyx versus Kick is going to happen.
It is indeed. Let's see what happens then. 3 more games to go today before day 1 is done and dusted, everybody. Birmingham, we've got a lot of Apex Legends, of course, ahead of us, but let's give these players a little bit of energy to send them home with a smile on their face today. Love to hear that. Stormpoint is where we're heading. Dan, you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Let's do this.
We're absolutely ready, and these players, I hope they are ready. It's been a long day for some of them, but now is their chance to shine. Even if you were able to get 1 victory here, that could be the difference maker with your chances of getting into that winner's bracket. The dropship's loaded, and we are going to see the players now dropping on in to Stormpoint.
Well, here we go then. Stormpoint to end the day, and what a turnaround it's been for Moist. We saw them a little bit earlier today, playing a little bit of Apex Legends. Didn't look like the Moist we were used to, but a very, very strong performance in the first 3 games on World's Edge. We had a 3rd place, we had a 7th and a 2nd. Couldn't quite go over the line for the Champions banner, Dan, but they had a pretty good run.
They did have a good run indeed. Now, are we going to see the fight happening? Yes, Cascade falls
is where we'll see two teams taking on one another. Also, we might see a fight between Go Next and FC Destroy, but I think they should be splitting. Yes, they will. So Go Next and FC Destroy are not going to fight against each other. Instead, it will be Cascade Falls, where our first fight is, and Onyx already getting up close and personal with the Mastiff.
Well, there's a jump scare. Crusader trying to finish off this kill, might have an opportunity to just pop a couple of cells, but Onyx looking to take that fight. Peacekeeper in the hands here of Raki, and we know that in a contest, if you can find a PK, then usually you can get huge entry damage. Finding those weapon drops obviously so important when you are contesting, and you see at the moment that one team's a little bit more split than the other. Onyx looking to push in here, and there's a car on the floor, and there is that first knock, and it's going to go in the favor here of Onyx.
Yeah, that's 2 now for Onyx, and it is kicked down to just the one remaining player. Maybe it was going to be a change of fortunes for them after finally winning the contest against TSM in their 3rd match on World's Edge, but it looks like things are not much prettier on Storm Point, and unfortunately Kick's woeful day will continue. Very tough when you are being contested game after game, but unfortunately that's just how the cookie crumbles in Apex Legends, as Onyx just try and stamp a little bit of authority on Cascade Falls.
Staller's going to be the last player alive. You can see that, unfortunately, he's going to have to think about playing this one out solo, or maybe wrapping back for some banners in a little bit, but you can already see that the time on those banners is disappearing before our eyes. Now, let's look at where the zone is going to be going. We do have a little bit of beacon information to relay to you wonderful people at home and here in Birmingham as well. And Checkpoint fans, NRG fans, well, you're going to be smiling.
Yeah, I think this is really good news for NRG. Optic Gaming, Pioneers all should be able to move very quickly to some of the prime positions up towards Checkpoint and the surrounding areas. For Blackhand, they also want to try and make their way. They've got that beacon information, so they're going to have a really good idea of where they want to play here. And that's why they are going for the speediest approach with a trident.
Yeah, they'll be playing the little tunnel at the moment on the cut through to where this zone probably will be ending a little bit later on. Pioneers securing their spot as well. They've made a very sharp rotation themselves, and they're going to be able to reinforce and play for that end game. And having this kind of composition, quick rotate, you're going to be feeling pretty good, Dan. You've got the Catalyst, you've of course got the Newcastle as well, all sorts of defenses to play around.
Yeah, TSM had a ring console to work with. Go Next had a survey beacon, and they're also making their journey up because they would have seen all the movement and they would have seen where all those players were going, so they'll have a rough idea as well. So there are going to be a good 10 to 12 teams in Checkpoint in a matter of moments. So that is a lot of early movers, which means there is going to be a long and kind of careful rotation for a lot of the teams who are playing the edge POIs. Probably not going to have many early fights. It's going to be when they get to that circle and try and force their way in that they're probably going to be griefed a bit.
Well, Blackhand maybe thinking about trying to make a play for one of these buildings. You could see that Strafe and Flame was thinking about putting that cat wall down so they could maybe scuttle across and not take a little bit of fire and deny some LOSs from some other teams who already got into their end game positions. But for now, a little bit of a rotate coming in from them. FC Destroy though. Here's a fight breaking out a little bit early. First kill does go down. Lovely stuff here from Hammerdrill.
Yeah, this is what you want when you see that Dark Veil, and if you can get around it and catch someone off guard, you can shred with that R99, and now it's a matter of trying to find the remaining players. But if you are going to drop down, you need a little bit of help, and they have to be careful there, FC Destroy. You don't want to give a free knock too easily. So I prefer this. Just wait, stay together, and maybe you can have a push together.
Scans coming in as well, so they know there's maybe more than one team who are having a little poke at this, but it does look like it's fairly isolated for now. Bambino and Slav going to be the last two players alive down on that low ground, so that's why they can't drop without that risk that you were talking about. Oxygen Esports creeping up on this though, Dan, and having a little look themselves.
Yeah, and we spoke about Oxygen a lot prior to this series, and they weren't able to get going on World's Edge, only 9 points at the moment, but the good thing is no one has really accumulated a large amount of points across World's Edge. They're only 22 points off of first place at the moment, and that is definitely achievable on any map, but Storm Point especially. If you can be one of those squads that picks up kill after kill, you might be able to find something. Now, Iron Blood Gaming going to be able to get the res. They were able to get a knock at the same time, but just a couple of teams who are rotating in got in a fight. It was Aurora who were on the receiving end of this one, and unfortunately they're going to lose 2 players.
Cleaning up the damage. Simple as that, 2 knocks coming in. DigiThreat going to be pinged as well, which is of course absolutely vital, especially with the amount of Bangalores that we see knocking about on this map. Storm Point. So Iron Blood Gaming didn't get the full wipe, like you say, but have cleared the way here. They should be pretty comfortable, and by the looks of things, Dan, fully looted as well.
Yeah, fully looted, booted, and they will have the entirety of the Southwest. It will only really be when they start to get towards Checkpoint that they're going to come across any sort of trouble, so they should have a relatively relaxing journey for now. The same could be said for Team Singularity and Disguised, who are going to be rotating late. Realize are still at Lightning Rod, may I add, but they will have a survey beacon up there and a ring console. So they might be waiting that one out just to get even extra information for their very late rotation. MBY White are holding the northern side of the zone at the moment, but everyone else is in or around checkpoint areas. It is getting very congested over here.
TSM found their way into one of these buildings just south of checkpoint POI itself. And this is going to be one of those slow burner games here where the excitement, the anticipation is just going to build. Everybody is finding playable spots, I should say, not just for this zone, Dan, but for the next one as well.
And we've had some heavy zone shifts so far today. I mean, I even saw the players in the chat complaining about it a little bit, obviously joking around, saying, God damn, these polls that are ruining my day, but it's one of those things you have to accept. And sometimes when you play those outer edges, when you play the maybe not quite as priority of a position, you do get rewarded here or there, but when they do pull like this, we're probably going to see a very predictable zone over towards checkpoint.
Yeah, so Storm Point certainly a little bit easier, in my opinion, to predict where we are going to be having an end game. Dan saying that because he's just seen a little bit of ring information that will relate to you as soon as someone on our screens hits a beacon to get that themselves. But not too unpredictable, I would say, for a lot of the teams here. Some of them playing for that high ground, looking to wrap down. If you're wondering where the zone is going to be going, we're going down a little bit more south than we were, but Disguise has got to be careful that they just don't get down.
But I wasn't expecting them to kind of end up at Stormcatcher together.
Take that advantage and like kind of take space because their spots.
It's like Gil isn't nowhere near to fucking help us, so like I kind of have to. Like,
Do you think Gil should stay there or over here?
Well, no one can technically take this fucking building with how we're holding this.
Yeah.
It's just like this is our only way with how we're like holding this.
I can keep good tabs on for that.
On the side.
Their Qs are proccing. Wait, whose Q is that? That's our. Why is the Q proccing?
I don't know.
Yeah, it says.
Must be some random team's Q right there.
I wonder if the team over here